It's like a rush of blood straight to my head. I've been learning how to love again. I can feel it crawling on.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the BPL Beta Brawl 2, the second installment of this wonderful beta series. Cameras in the abyss, but I'm still here to walk you through it. We are on the A stream, meaning we are going to be bringing you the match of Catgirl Empire versus Crabapple. But we are actually not the only people on right now. If we want to look at the current streams going on, we've got our B stream, which is going to be highlighting some matches from our B League for the Beta Brawl 2. And as far as the mainstream and the C stream are concerned, both of which are going to be highlighting some A League matches. Mainstream, obviously mainstream, but C stream's just going to be an alternate stream for the A League. So make sure to check those out as soon as possible when we go to breaks and whatnot. But the match at hand is now our top priority. Like I said, Catgirl Empire going up against Crabapple. This is going to be quite the match. What do you guys think about this one? We see the rosters right here. New names and old ones.
I mean, I don't really know much about these guys, but I'm really excited. I love some Overwatch 2 action. Contenders is going on right now. We've seen some incredible plays, and I'm hoping for some more in this first matchup of the evening.
I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how these two teams have adapted to the beta. Now, a couple of nerfs did go through overnight, about 10:30 or 11:30 p.m. last night. Moira got a little bit of a kick. Junker Queen definitely took a kick. Sojourn kind of got a buff and a nerf at the same time. So we'll see if Sojourn is going to, really factor into what we're going to see here today. Also, Orisa, my beloved donkey horse, got a bit of a buff, got a little bit of extra 10% speed when doing the javelin spin, so we're going to see if that works. And also no headshot damage anymore when you go into fortify, so you're going to be able to tank a little bit more, so that might bring my beloved girl back into the meta, but we'll see what actually happens and goes down tonight.
This is all very well and true, all these different changes. And I'm also going to be interested to see if these teams have been able to adapt, because like you mentioned, these changes kind of came like really recently. So we might see some metas that we saw in our first beta brawl, but like you said, it's entirely possible to see more heroes being utilized.
Yeah, definitely. I think we're seeing really two main comps going forward. It's really the Junker Queen rush that we've seen a lot of, especially yesterday, and when we did like the rounds of 64 and the round of 32s. And as well, that's more when we go into like a hybrid or a control. And then when you go into maybe like an escort, like if we go to Circuit Royale, we see a Sigma-based comp with a BAP Zen. But Zen did get a little bit of a nerf, so maybe not. Maybe that Moira, like you were talking about, Billy.
I mean, the Enfeeble alone right now is a big reason why she's almost a must pick going into this. Now, you can run double main support into it. I've heard a couple of my co-casters, especially on the color side, say, how dare you run double mains? But you're also able to run double flexes if you want to as well. So I think that running the Moira is a must-have right now. I think Junker Queen, I agree 100% on that. Even though the commanding shout did get a 1 meter radius decretion, so we'll see if that actually matters into it. And also, when you're going on Rampage, they've also denied that down by I think it was 5 meters as well. So we're going to be looking at that as well to see if the team is going to have to play even closer to the Junker Queen, or if they can actually play off on the sides, and it may take off the Sojourn or these Zens on the flank. It may bring everybody back into what I think the devs were hoping for, was a true 5-on-5 matchup going into these game sets.
And speaking of game sets, here is our current map set. So we are going to be starting on Coliseo, which is our push map. Then we are going to go to Hybrid and Control.
I'm excited. Not a lot of people are liking this push game mode, but hey, it's new, it's fun, it's fresh, and I'm very excited. I really love this Coliseum map. It's just, all these new maps, Billy, are so beautiful, and we're going to head in here to start things off. And, well, we're just going to see. We got 17 seconds before we see what compositions they're going to be, both of these teams are going to be running.
Sure, and I mean, I think that this is my favored of the push maps. I think New Queen Street, while it is in Canada, and I'm a former Canadian, I do love seeing that, seeing the Great White North. I tell you what, there's room for pause, looking at some of the geometry of New Queen Street. But Coliseo, I mean, there's a whole bunch of different ways that you can path onto the objective and, retaking it if you do happen to lose control of the bot. I think this is how the good teams separate themselves from the okay teams. And we'll see, if speed is going to matter here. They're both showing us Junker Queen. They're both showing us, they're showing us mirror matchups here. Yep. So it's going to depend on who gets the most value out of the Enfeebles and if they can follow up on it.
Yeah, the main key thing is, though, one team running that Moira, the other Crabapple, opting for the Brigitte here as they're going to just start things off, just really waiting to get this engagement underway. And there it goes, finally into the fray of it, is through that disruptor shot coming in from Laurel. And they're going to try to start things off. And it is going to be Hyper with the first pick in this fight to open things up for Catgirl Empire, as they should have the upper hand now. They've got this, the only tank still left on the board. They're looking for these picks, but it is going to be Pengalex taking back this fight. They're going to take out their own, the other Junker Queen, and now Crabapple have everything in their favor. They've taken out the Brigitte, and they still have this cart progress going forward, as it does seem like Crabapple have got this upper hand.
It really did. And I mean, Catgirl with it 23 meters, that's really nothing. It's a drop in the bucket if you're looking at, total distances here in the game. But I think right now, Saipai is going to be the one to look at, because Junker Queen engages can be denied with the flail, with the whip shot. Also, the shield bash is going to stop them in their tracks as well. So I think that's going to be something we may be looking forward towards here in the future.
Yeah, so they're gonna going forward. They're trying to get something done, but it is going to be the Moira of Catgirl Empire starting things off, as they're gonna come back strong. They've already got 2 picks in this fight and looking for some more. Laura with a nice headshot with that secondary fire to end things off.
The big thing is that you don't have to stay on the point here. Once you've got control of the bot, you can actually play as a 5 away from it. Now, it does maybe lend itself to getting the point flipped if somebody wants to be sneaky and go a little bbit dodgy in the back line. But, Catgirl Empire, they're playing nice and slow. They're letting these Junker Queen engages start off these fights. And, yeah, you may lose one here or there. But Power does have this Coalescence, and Coalescence has been the fight winner many times out of 10, just allowing the Junker Queen to go in unabated.
Yeah, they're going to have to wait out for a little bit. Laura did get a bad spawn, but now the Crabapple are going to be the ones to start things off, but they're going to be come back strong with the Coalescence coming in from Catgirl Empire, trying to do much more, but they're going to lose the Hyper in this fight, but it still does not matter for Catgirl Empire, because they might lose their Junker Queen, but the rest of their squad is just going to find all the kills they need.
Wow, that is actually an impressive fight there, being won by the 4 out of Catgirl Empire. Everybody on Crabapple said, get Hyper down, but nay. The rest of the team just really rallied and marshaled their resources together and now have forward spawn position.
They're doing so well with it. They have so many ultimates here, Billy, to win this fight out. And it's almost unfair with it, but they're going to try to do something. They've got this blade out from Kylo Ren. It is going to be traded out. They've got the sound barriers from both of these squads, so not going to find much value because of it. But Azu, you're going to be the first person to get the first pick in this fight. That is huge for Crabapple. They need this fight win, and they need it now. And they're going to take out Kylo Ren as well. This should be all they need to win this fight out.
I mean, Saipai right now, on the swapping over to the Moira, absolutely shutting down Kylo Ren. I think that's the big difference right now, is that even though, you were getting the initial value out of the Brigitte, the engages that were coming in from Laura and Kylo Ren, they just stayed out of the range, so the Inspire just wasn't getting the uptime that they needed to have. It's going to be battling blades here. Here it comes out from Pengalex.
Yeah, there's the blade, and it's going to find one, starting them off for Crabapple. Pengalex looking for some more, then cannot find it, but that could be all they need to win this fight out as Para goes down, but it is going to be traded out, and now Catgirl Empire have the upper hand in this fight. Kernmaster with 2 in that fight there, Billy.
I mean, Hyper went in with Carnage and got absolute blood on their hands, and then everybody else was able to follow up with the commanding shout speed buff going in. There is nothing they could do, and I mean, without having that without having a sound barrier to bolster your team. And that was an easy fight win. And now we'll see if Catgirl can actually get the forward spawn here again. They were down just by 1.61 meters last time that they lost it.
Well, they are going to give it up for a time being. The overclock coming out from Persis. Try to turn things into the favor of Crabapple there, but no, not going to find much, as that's going to be the rampage kill coming in for Hyper there, as that's going to come through strong yet again for Catgirl Empire.
I mean, that was clean. We saw the Enfeeble come in from Para. They kind of backed off, but still the damage was done once Rampage was initiated. There's forward spawn, and now we're looking at a little under 5 minutes here, Joshua, and we've got Blade ready to go, as well as another Coalescence here for Para.
And they are looking strong, and Kylo Ren's going to start things off with an own Dragon Blade there. They are going to take down Perseus. It is still going to be traded out, but a nice couple slashes come through as Para uses that Coalescence to follow up on the damage coming in from their Genji, as that the Necrotic Orb going to find some good value there for Catgirl Empire. Coalescence is out, but it's not going to matter. Hyper takes them down as the side of Catgirl Empire continue to hold strong and push this bot forward.
Oh man, fantastic disengage there coming out of Catgirl. They kind of baited that Coalescence out, and then Kylo Ren and Hyper went in and just absolutely pile drive Sci-Fi into the ground on their own Moira, taking them out of the Coalescence. So now you're looking at dueling sound barriers. Azu is going to be able to really deny a lot of space taking here, but oh my gosh, it's an early space take.
Yeah, the early beat coming in from Butters there might not be the best use of that ultimate. It is going to be traded out. They do get Kernmaster out of this fight. It's still even all around, as Azu now going wild here with the Junker Queen. Oh my goodness, Billy.
Yeah, that's fantastic work going in with the shotgun and then just going in with Carnage after that. You love to see it. Forward spawn is still on the board here, though, for Catgirl Empire. So if they can retake this point, and they held on to that sound barrier, you might have sound barrier and overclock into this next fight. I'm telling you what, Pangalex right now has to be thinking, I've got to get at least a 2K blade to salvage any kind of fight here.
You definitely gotta be thinking there, and Pangalex is gonna start things off, but the sound barrier is there, Billy. It's not even gonna matter as Para's taking them out of the fight already. This is just a nice fight yet again coming in, and the Rampage kill gonna wrap things up for Catgirl Empire.
I mean, that ultimate, I've heard a lot of my friends in the casting community and players as well saying there's no reason why a tank should have an anti-ability on them. I think it's absolutely awesome. I think that it is fair, because I mean, if you can run an against it, and you're running your own Junker Queen, I think it works out.
Yeah, as the Dragon Blade is going to start things off here from Kylo Ren, but it is not going to be the first pick in this fight, as it is going to be Crabapple coming back from spawn, finding picks of their own without any real use of any ultimates, as we come in with a pause of the disconnect of the Junker Queen of Hyper.
See? Oopsie as the word of the day here, but I mean, looking at what we've seen so far, the clinical disengages that have come out of Catgirl Empire when they've had any kind of real massive resistance coming against their push, they back off. They absorb the pressure. You know, if they have a support ultimate, they're going to go ahead and pop it. You know, they're amping speed to get away from these multiple usage of cooldowns in on top of them as well. I think Azu has been really ramping up their game playing. I'm really liking what I'm seeing out of them on Crabapple. So this is not over yet. We've seen in the Overwatch or in the contenders that just because you have a commanding lead here on a push map with, you know, minimal time left does not mean that you were necessarily out of it. I think that they could rally themselves back into it and push Catgirl Empire maybe into an overtime situation. It would just depend on what kind of ultimates they have stored up and how well they rotate those ultimates when they go in.
Yeah, definitely. And I think you touched on that those ultimates use, because we did see a couple of misplays or mistimings coming in from Crabapple there. I want to say that sound barrier that engaged the fight didn't really get much of the value you'd have liked to see with it. Maybe if it was a little bit later, they would have had a lot more success going forward. And that's a good time to really talk about that. You're in a pause situation right now. think about that over and going back into this when we come back from the pause, you're like, oh, I know what I need to do now. And that's and hopefully that's what Crabapple needs.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if they're able to marshal it back up together as I take a look and see what they have on each side. I mean, right now you're going to have Overclocked coming out from Perseus. Para will be able to maybe take a look at that and decide if they want to shoot the Coalescence out, or, you know, if Perseus is going to be able to hit those headshots. You can be taken out immediately with the headshot from that Overclock. So the Sojourn versus the Moira is going to be what we should be looking at here coming into the next fight. And, you know, I think also neither side really close to a sound barrier. So that's going to be the big thing for me right now, is how are they going to be able to adjust their play style now that they do have control of the bot. I think that you need to push forward. I think you need to push forward and be aggressive. Use the ping system. I haven't seen or heard a lot of pings coming out of people. So that's one thing that I've been seeing in contenders right now, is that the ping system is letting people know when there's a flank, when they see something out the corner of their eye, you can react to it. Use that ping system, because it was something that was sorely missing in Overwatch 1. We all love Overwatch 1, but man, that is one of the biggest upgrades that I've seen here in Overwatch 2, is the ability to instantly communicate not only what you're seeing, but where and who it is.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you there. The pings might be a bit annoying when it's every 5 seconds, especially in Owl, but it works so well. In every shooter, pretty much, you see those ping systems. They work so well for the competitive game, and it's great to see Overwatch finally implementing them.
I mean, Hyper didn't lose much in the ult department. That's the other thing that we need to zero in on, is that we just saw they had just used their Rampage, I think, in the previous fight. So they may have been like 3 ahead. Oh, well, I guess Hyper is back out of it. Hyper is not ready to play. And it might be an East Coast internet thing, Spectrum. Get your work together, gosh darn it. But, you know, we'll see if they're able to get themselves back into the lobby. But I mean, this is going to start kind of wearing on the mental. You know that you're kind of down. I think that there's a pause time system here as well. So, I mean, this could actually work against Catgirl Empire. They've had the better of the 5-on-5 team fights that have happened. I think that, you know, Crabapple have started to kind of find their footing and find their identity as they're going into these fights. Pangalex, it's the better of the 2 Genjis right now for Crabapple, absolutely outstripping Catgirl's Genji. So Pangalex can get a little bit more value in the neutral, because the Dragon Blades have had more value. I think that you might want to run the double main support here in the Moira and the Ana, and really put it out there. Give the Nano over to the Genji, see if he can, you know, rack up some decent plays here on the Nano Blades. But, you know, I mean, the speed factor right now is something that both teams are having to contend with, not only with the commanding shout, but also the amp speed. So, I mean, speed kills, speed wins. We'll see if this is going to be a continuing thread here in our series.
Yeah, as we're going to see, we'll see what we see. We're going to head to a short little break until we get Hyper's situation figured out. Stick around. You're not going to want to miss when we come back from this break.
As I'm searching for the break of a day to follow away to you. 'Cause at the end of the day, I ain't looking for no reason to change. 'Cause everything is good for you. Baby, I can see we're gonna shout it out to the sky. Tell our secrets to the night, so we can see the end inside. We're gonna shout it out to the sky. When I look into your eyes, I can see no better light, better light than love. rise to the night so we can see the end in sight. We're gonna shout it out to the sky. When I look into your eyes, I can see no better light, better light than love. We're gonna shout it out to wasting time on my own. All the places that we go, all this pain feels within. Footsteps fade, what could have been? Finally, I feel more free. The end of you and me, let it go, let it be. My heart belongs to me. My heart belongs to me. You're never gonna let me go, and I will never let you go. And now I'm feeling stronger, feeling stronger. You're never gonna let me go, and I will never let you go. And now I'm feeling stronger, feeling stronger. Feeling stronger, feeling stronger. Feeling stronger, feeling stronger. You're never gonna let me go, and I will never let you go. And now I'm feeling stronger, feeling stronger. You're never gonna let me go, and I will never let you go. And now I'm feeling stronger, feeling stronger.
Well, we're back finally, and hopefully we are back for good as Hyper finally getting back into this lobby here, Billy, as we're going to start things off. It looks like they're going to start things with the overclock coming in from Paresis, but it's not going to matter. They're going to come back strong. Oh my goodness, the Coalescence driven Catgirl Empire finds an entire team count.
Oh, that's GG's there, and I mean we're now sub 90 seconds here. One ultimate to win the fight, and that's exactly the kind of economy that you love to see. So now we're going to take a look and see what Crabapple can do here to stave off any more progress here. The neutral rate right now is going to be what's so important, and Pangolus has got to get in here and get more value on this Genji once again.
Yeah, they definitely do. They definitely do indeed, as they're looking to get something done, but it's going to be still traded out. It's going to be Kylo Ren starting things off here. They're still trying to fight this out, but it's still Catgirl Empire is finding the picks in these fights to continue to drive their force and drive their way. As the Rampage comes out, they're not going to find the kills they want to, but the Coalescence is now out. They're going to try to focus them down. Hyper is out of this fight. This could be the turning point for Crabapple now, as they're going to be able to get this cart back into their favor.
Well, Perseus and Butters getting a lot of work done there, building up halfway towards another overclock here, going to this fight. But here we go. It's going to be Pangalex with this blade. Dueling blades into this next fight. Sound barrier is at the ready here for Catgirl Empire, so they should be able to weather the storm. Just depends on what Pangalex gets out of the gate.
It definitely does, as there comes out both the Dragon Blades, but their Sound Barrier is going to be there in response from Kernmaster to keep them up and healthy and win the fight for the side of Catgirl Empire. They've just got to clear the rest of the stragglers of Crabapple off. Azu does take out their counterpart, which is going to be huge, but there's just going to be too little too late. There's only 2 of them left, Billy, and they can't do much more than this, as their overtime bar is going to tick down as Catgirl Empire finally take map number 1.
I mean, it took us a minute to get there, but we finally got there in the end. And the big thing that everybody needs to really recognize about Push is that once you've got your forward progress and you've got a pretty sizable lead, you can afford to lose fights. As long as you don't get completely decimated in these fights and don't overcommit and trying to hold the point, you pretty much guarantee yourself a map win. So, you know, I really like the push and pull, the yin and yang approach here by Catgirl Empire as they take a 1-0 lead here in our first match of the day here on the A stream. And Crabapple are going to have to really, you know, marshal their resources, figure out what their true identity is, because they really did have a good sense of what they were doing. I think coming out on the Brigida in the beginning, though, Joshua, was their downfall. They never were really fully able to recover. So, you know, are we going to see Zen come back out here? Because I think, you know, I think the Discord Orb could be a good counter to the speed boost ability. Transcendence, of course, is a lovely thing to have going up against these rampages, because I think we're going to have a steady diet of JQ all evening long.
Yeah, and definitely since we're going to be heading into a hybrid map next with, like I was talking about earlier on, JQ Rush has been the predominant meta we've been seeing on hybrid maps. And especially with it going to be the New York map, my home map, we're going in to Midtown in a few short moments here, Billy. Which, I mean, should be fun. I haven't really seen many good first point defenses on Midtown, however.
It just depends on your personnel. I mean, if you're running the Genji, you have the ability to contest from high and low. You have the escapability as well. I think here is where you need to see an Ana come out in support. I don't think you necessarily need the speed boost here. And you can use the commanding shout on cooldown if you really need to speed into a fight. I think that's the biggest thing. I think that the Discord Orb would be a good look here. I think that also, if you want to run the double mains, you can do that as well, because the antis going into the fights could be a good deterrent coming in from them. Also, I've seen a lot of Hanzo play up in the A sides that we've been covering. Hanzo has been pretty good here. Reaper has made a reappearance into the meta as well. Ashe is also good here as well, with the dynamite damage, the AoE effect, and the burn damage coming through. Really pulls a lot of resources out of the healers. So it just depends on what your identity is coming in here. We'll see what Catgirl Empire and Crabapple are going to bring to the table here. But I think you're right. I think we're going to see a steady diet of Junker Queen. Who else have I seen so far on this map? I think that I've seen one Reinhardt come out on C. Just because of the close quarters there. And, you know, Junkrat has also made a reappearance in the server as well. I think that Junkrat is the Junker Queen counter because she can't close the distance. And if she gets caught in the trap, you're pretty much done and dusted at that point. A couple of concussion mines and just complete focus fire will take a Junker Queen down. So Midtown is going to be the scene, or to see if Crabapple will be able to bring themselves back up even in our series. We shall see what we shall see, though, Josh.
Yeah, which is an interesting thing. We're going to be seeing some swaps actually coming in for the side of Catgirl Empire. Not the team that I would have thought would have made some swaps in. Oh, but they do actually have also made a swap as well here. Metro Boomin has come in for Laura and Emmy coming in onto the support there, as well as Grunt coming in onto the support for Peace By.
Well, we will see what Grunt's going to do here. As they're going to come out here on the offense. We'll see what kind of a defense that Catgirl Empire are going to bring out here. I like this look. You're going to have not only healing from range, the immortality barrier is going to be able to be deployed here. Hyper showing us the Sigma here. You were talking about that a little bit earlier, that Sigma is a damn good pick here as far as damage mitigation. Also shielding, which is something that you do lack with the Junker Queen. So you're going to have a CC and a shield to be able to go up against. So Crabapple are going to have to be able to look and see how they're going to path around this.
Which is really interesting. Normally we see a double sniper, but it's not really the best map for that yet, as they're going to start things off, go straight to point as Crabapple, and they've got the upper hand now. But no longer. Kylo Ren is going to go in and take away Butters, and that's going to be huge. The Discord Orb gone, and well, now the rest of the attack is going to crumble around it.
They had the right idea. They were running double flex, and they didn't have the healing output that Crabapple really needed to get the impetus onto the point. So that being said, Kylo Ren did get a lot of work done in that first fight, and now we're going to see what Azu can do here on this Junker Queen, kind of separated from their team, looking to see if they can get this high ground contest going.
As they're going to come in here now. They've made that swap. They're back to the Moira here as they're going to start things off with a commanding shout. Try to get in, and they are going to get in. Curtain Master going to go down first, which is going to be huge. And now that's going to open things up for Crabapple. They've got this point control. They've got the upper hand here as Pangalex finding everything they need here for Crabapple.
I mean, Pangalex was the Genji there on Colosseo, now has gone over to the hit scan DPS role, putting Perseus on the Genji, and now you see the full benefit of it. You saw the charged railgun shots just absolutely decimating from range. The dispersion as well. I really like that disruptor shot that came in and really pinned Metro Boomin up in the subway car. So now forward push here coming from Crabapple. This could be the way that they get themselves back into the series.
It definitely could be, as we're not seeing any swaps coming in from Hyper yet. Still opting for that Sigma. They've got the Gravitic Flux here. Look for that to be this Engager coming in from Catgirl Empire, but no, it's going to be the Amp Matrix coming in, but Pangalex is not going to matter because they've already found a nice headshot with the secondary fire. And, well, they find this out with Perseus as well with a nice Dragon Blade.
That was 30 health and a dream, finishing out that Dragon Blade, and you'll love to see it. And it was just absolutely perfectly timed. They just completely bypassed the window that came out from Kern Masters. Now they swap over to an Ana BTW. And Azu is going to have this Rampage going into this next fight. I think you can hold it and save it for inside the train terminal.
You've got to use Nyx Flux early on, and they are indeed going to start things off with it, but not going to find the value you might have liked to seen with it, as Perseus yet again finding so much value with this Genji, not even using a Dragon Blade there, as the rest of Crabapple are going to find some picks. Pangalex has just been on fire this round.
I mean, the swap between the two DPS right now is the biggest change. The other big change is that Butters went over to the Moira. They realized early that double flex was not going to work. The Zenyatta was not the choice of the day. So now we get to see this Coalescence engage coming in. Rally is available to Catgirl Empire, however, so they're going to have to be very aware of this.
They're going to start things off. The overclock coming in from Metro Boomin, but they're not going to find any real value from it, however, because that Coalescence is going to find the side of Crabapple just getting a hyper-aggressive, looking for all the picks they need, but no picks have come out yet. The commanding shouts coming in from both of these teams to start to find something, and that is going to be finally the pick coming in from Azu, the Junker Queen of Crabapple, to open things up, to start things out, And they're going to continue to push forward here. A nice play coming in from Gracie there with the dagger, as that is going to be Crabapple coming in.
I mean, that was a fantastic engage. That both support ultimates came out from Catgirl Empire, and it was just done. Now Kernmaster back in on the Lucio, trying to think about getting a touch. 2.61 meters in, and now that's a great commanding shot to take control of the fight.
Yeah, and they've already taken Perseus out of this fight, but it's not going to matter any longer. It's all red in this kill feed, Billy. This Crabapple have come back strong with a very dominant attacking phase.
Oh, just a little under 3 minutes, 30 seconds. Are you kidding me? That's a speed run through the streets of New York. The fire engine was never stopped in its entirety. Really, Crabapple on the back of Azu and Butters moving forward, allowing Pangalex to just start to really decimate the members of Catgirl Empire. I mean, this DPS duo for Crabapple have awoken. They have chosen violence at the best possible time. They're just saying, forget about it in the streets of New York. So, Crabapple, let's take a look at what your defense is going to be holding up against this 3-minute, 26-second time bank. Because I tell you what, that's fast by any means, and I don't see anything really changing here. I like the look that they had there. That's a very good look out of them. It's the same composition that they ran on Coliseo, just the fact that Perseus and Pangalex have swapped roles, and it is all to the better for them.
Well, I'm I hate looking at the attacker spawn because, well, it can obviously change for the next 15 seconds. We've seen Kylo Ren just swap 3 heroes already. But right now, I don't think we're going to be seeing this Torbjorn. As much as I'd love to see the everyone's favorite Swedish engineer, yeah, they're going to go over and get to the more meta pick of the Genji here. It's going to be fun. They're still opting for this Brigitte, though, Billy.
I mean, they want to really close the quarters and use that Inspire to keep everybody up in these fights. So I think that's the reason why you're going in there. But look at that orb. Good orb coming in from Butters.
Yeah, a very nice play coming in as Hyper is so low already, and Pangalex is already taking out their counterpart with a nice dashes through. Oh my goodness. Perseus with the dash resets, just taking names right now. Crabapple looks like a completely different team.
They do. I mean, Butters, what a late stagger kill. That's going to take at least 15 seconds off before they can actually start to engage once again. Pangalex really taking a back position here, a backstage to Perseus, letting the Genji go in and get the close quarter engages, and then just being able to get that charged railgun shot off. And this has been what you want to see coming out for them.
As Pangalex yet again getting the upper hand on Metro Boomin, as they're going to look to try to find something, but no, they're just going to have to back up here.
This is exactly what Crabapple want. They just want to be able to absorb the damage coming in, and then they push forward. And the fact that you don't have the Enfeeble, which knocks down the efficacy of your attacks, this is a big reason why they're doing so well right now.
A nice engage coming in, looking to get something, doing anything, as it is going to be Emmy, the Brigitte, coming in strong with a nice whip shot, taking out that nuisance of Perseus there. Now they're going to be able to rotate to the point, try to get this point under their control, and it does seem to be the case for the moment. Azu is so low, the coalescence is there, and it's going to keep them alive for much more longer as well. They're going to have to go down to the secondary fire at the end, and that's going to be all they need in the end as Catgirl Empire take that fight win.
But they did have to use the rally to make sure that they secured this point, so they're not going to have that rally armor to get them through the second point here of Midtown. So they do have a very full war chest, though, so I'm not really worried about that. Nice knife coming out from Hyper. But, I mean, looking at the ult economy right now, both DPS ultimates ready for both sides. The big difference is that you've got the sound barrier ready to go for Kernmaster. 10% behind is Grunt.
Yeah, Grunt needs to get that up before this this fight really comes underway, or they're going to be at a massive disadvantage, and it does seem like they're going to be able to get up to there. That's huge to start things off here as the Dragon Blade is coming out from Perseus, and they've already taken out Metro Boomin before they can pop that overclock, and that's just going to be everything they need. Perseus with the Dragon Blade finding two. They are going to go down to their Genji counterpart, but I mean, it's a little too late when there's already 3 picks in the favor of Crabapple.
Yeah, you can get back to fight fast enough as it is. So, you know, we did see the sound barrier come out, though, from Grunt. So, sound barrier advantage will be available here to Catgirl. You can go in on tempo, basically. I mean, you'll probably want to hold it for Azu's Rampage, but we'll see what they got going on.
Well, the overclock is coming out now, and they're going to use that sound barrier to engage here as Azu's out of this fight now. Everything going in blue as this is Catgirl Empire's fight to lose now, and they might have lost it. They do lose 2, but it is going to be Hyper going wild on the Junker Queen, finding 2 picks late, looking for a third, and they might not get it, but they still win that fight out.
Oh, I mean, you're going to buy yourself another fight here, though. And the fact that you have the Rampage available and nothing to counter against it, that's going to be pretty much an easy fight win. Yep, there it comes through.
Yeah, they're going to start things off here, and no kills coming off the back of Azu's Rampage there, however, as it is going to be Metro Booming, finding work with their ultimate, taking out Grunt. And this should be all but over for the fight as Catgirl Empire get the team kill gong.
Can I get a little MTD in the chat? Because Hyper absolutely turned that fight on its head. It should have been a done and dusted fight there. Azu went in and got 4 on the Rampage, but no good.
Hyper's getting super aggressive there, but they do pay for it in the end. Kylo Ren gonna go down. I mean, they're still gonna have the time to push this cart, however.
They're coming up on Rally, so that's going to be a big initiator to keep them in these fights. Butters does have the Coalescence ready to go, so you've got something to counter that up.
That's going to be the Rampage to start things off. That's going to weaken almost everyone on the board, and then the nice plays coming in here for Catgirl Empire. It is going to be traded out. It is still even all around, but the Rally is now on the board to keep everyone up and healthy for the time being. Gonna look to get this fight. Kylo Ren has this Dragon Blade. When are they gonna pop it is the question to get this fight underway. And they're gonna pop it now. They gotta get Grunt before they can use that sound barrier to keep them all up and healthy. But there it is coming out, and that's gonna turn this fight on its head for the side of Crabapple. They're gonna come back strong, take out the Genji, and now they have the upper hand in this fight, and they're gonna be able to get all the picks they need, Billy.
Yep, this is exactly what they needed, and now you're just feeding ultimates into Azu right now, and that's the last thing that you want to be doing is to have this Rampage available for what could be one of the last fights here. As we approach the 2-minute mark, I think we've got, probably 4 or 5 fights here. I mean, we're going to look to see, you know, how quickly can Kylo Ren build up to this next blade, because Metro Boomin has not gotten this value on the overclocks. They bought some space with it. I think they've taken 1 down out of 3 overclocks that have happened. So, you know, I want to see, you know, a little bit more value here done with the railgun. See if they can get a lot more value going into these fights.
Well, speaking of overclocks, Pengalex is going to be using their own here to initiate the fight for Crabapple. Not going to find the value that you might have liked to see, but they get the space created, as that is going to be huge. Buy some more time on the clock as they're going to start these off. Commanding shout coming out, but now the Dragon Blade from Perseus. They do find 1, but they're going to pay for it with their life. Is still Crabapple getting the upper hand in these fights, and they're going to push back the rest of Catgirl Empire now.
Yeah, and Butters did a yeoman's job there, just getting so much healing throughout. That builds up the Coalescence from 62%. So now, what do you get done with this? How do you get onto the point, and how do you push it through if you're Catgirl Empire? Well, I think it's going to have to start with a Hyper Rampage. You've got 26%, 24% now building up into that. You've got to get that out.
Yeah, it definitely does, but a nice rampage comes through from Azu, locking everyone up, weakening everyone there in that fight. They are going to counter it with their own sound barrier to keep everyone up and healthy, as now the rampage coming out misses everyone but Butters, and that is not what you need right now if you're the side of Catgirl Empire, as they are on the back foot, as Crabapple are finding everything they need. Kylo Ren trying desperately to make a hero play, but it's not gonna matter in the end, as we have a tied series here, Billy.
That is absolutely what you need to see, and let me tell you what, Grunt coming in on the Lucio has had 3 massive sound barriers to save them and themselves from the blades that came out from Kylo Ren. Oh my goodness, this has been a fantastic series. I love the fact the Crabapple have found who they are, and I love it. I love it. I love it. The swap in the DPS is the biggest change right now, my friend. That's where we're seeing the biggest change, Joshua, is that, you know, we saw the flex DPS and the hit scan DPS swap roles, and you saw the immediate value out of that.
Yeah, and not only that, with the value that we're seeing from the DPS of Crabapple, Azu is now being able to show out and show much more of their capabilities on Junker Queen. They're not getting caught out by the DPS of Catgirl Empire any longer, because, well, Crabapple has just gotten the upper hand in these DPS engagements so far after Midtown, and now as we head into a control map, it's anyone's game.
It really is, and I mean, we're talking about control here, so it's going to be space taking. It's the best 2 out of 3. So, I mean, I think this is going to come down to a map 3 here. I mean, it's the best way that we could have started 2 beta 2 Brawl here for Bad Pachimari League. But we're going to throw it to a quick little break, get ourselves a little bit of hydration, let the teams get all set up, and we will see you guys in just a few moments.
Do you need me the way I miss you? 'Cause I can barely. You're the one I can't deny. I wanna take you sky. Take you sky. Do you need me the way I miss you? 'Cause I can barely. You're the one I can't deny. I wanna take you sky. Take you sky.
Welcome back, everyone. It is time for map number 3 to decide this first round, first matchup of the 2 Beta 2 Brawl tournament that is hosted by the Bad Pachimari League. And I'm super excited here. Crabapple is finally hitting their stride, and something needs to give if Catgirl Empire, wants to win this series, this series out.
No, I mean, Crabapple showed us what they're made of. That's the big thing. I'm damn proud of them. Let's see if they can close it out. I love a good underdog story. It is the 2 seed versus the 16 seed here in our 2 Beta 2 Brawl tournament. So I always love seeing the underdog come through in flying colors, and man, did they make a good account of themselves there in the streets of New York. But now we're heading to Lijiang Tower, and this could be a little bit of a chance for people to try some different things out. Symmetra did get a little bit of a work here with their latest patch that came out last night, a little less than 24 hours ago. So we'll see what happens here. Catgirl is going to swap back to their original map 1 roster. So definitely feeling the pinch right now as the number 2 seed in danger of going down to the upstarts from Crabapple. I tell you what, the DPS swap, absolutely yay. That was beautiful work, and I really want to see how we progress here. Where we're going first on Lijiang, we all know that there's 3 different comps that you can run here across the 3 maps of Lijiang. I'm trying to think about how Junker Queen really works on Night Market. I think that's the real one outlier for me, because Garden, you've got great sight lines there. You've got great ability to get in with the Rampage. You just have to be careful that you don't charge off the map when you go in with that. The same thing on Control Center. I mean, Control Center is probably the best place for the Junker Queen right now. I also want to see the other Aussie come out here. I would like to see Junkrat come out if we do see Control Center here in our 3-map rotation. But we're going to start on Garden. So, Crabapple. Do they continue to run the Sojourn Genji? I don't see why you would change anything up right now. Pangalex absolutely popped off on the Sojourn, and we'll see. We'll see what they come out here. I mean, there's no swaps whatsoever. We'll see in the next 23 seconds if Catgirl are going to run with this once again. We do see Para, like we mentioned before, Para and Laura coming back into the lineup. So now Catgirl, I guess they've had their fun. And now they're going to say, yay. Trixies are all over. We're going to go full sweaty here and see if we can take a win here.
Yeah, very interesting. We're going to be seeing a Wrecking Ball coming out from Catgirl Empire. Not something I was expecting to see tonight. But it's a good one, nonetheless. But, I mean, it's not going to work well for you there because... no, they're still not off the side of the map, but it does not matter in the end. With that time that the Wrecking Ball was not disrupting, the side of Crabapple find everything they need.
Yep, I mean that was not a good look there coming out from Hyper. I thought they were trying to maybe get a quick roll through assassination and take control of the point, but now they're going to have to go in 30% down on Rampage from Azu. So also, you were losing the Ana. I mean, they were trying to completely switch it up, and they just got 0 value out of it.
Yeah, and it might bite them in the butt in the end. We'll see. They're going to come back strong, but they still have not found a pick, and it is going to be Azu finding the first pick in this fight. It is going to be traded out, however, as it's still Anywood's point. But yeah, again, just as I say things, the opposite happens. Grunt comes in and taking out Para, and that is going to be Crabapple winning that fight out.
Almost 40% in counting here, and Laura has been getting a lot of value on the Sojourn, just not enough in the assassination department. Trying to go for the long-range knife there, as it was a couple pixels short of taking Para back to them and just taking him off the fight.
Yeah, that would have been a huge play coming in if Azu got that knife. As they're going to start things off. The sound barrier is there from Grunt to keep them up and healthy. And, well, that's going to help them win this fight out as Pengalek starts things off with the kills. As that is going to be Crabapple yet again. They're just looking so dominant right now. I don't know what Catgirl Empire can even do.
I love the aggressive sound barrier there out of Grunt. I think Grunt was another big substitution that came in for them. There's the Rampage, gets 3 in it.
Yeah, they're going to start things off. They do get weakened of their own, however, but they're still alive and still kicking. The Coalescence is out. There is the Dragon Blade. Kylo needs some big plays from it. They find 2. Hyper as well, taking out their Junker Queen counterpart. And finally, Catgirl Empire are going to get some capture percentage on the board.
Off of 1 ultimate. That was a 3 ultimate fight that Crabapple just lost. And that is going to turn the ultimate economy into Catgirl's favor. So now, as they start picking up percentage here, Crabapple's going to have to get an early entry frag to start to contest this point.
They are indeed, as it's going to be the Coalescence on the board early here from Para to push them all back, and it is going to seem to be the case as well. Hyper using their own Rampage, and they are going to go down, but it's not going to matter. Laura is going to pop the overclock, find everything they need as well with Kylo Ren in kind.
But Josh, that was an expensive fight for Catgirl. I mean, they had the ultimate advantage. They knew the 3 ultimates came out in the previous fight. They ended up using 3 in that fight, and now we're seeing the shift once again. Sound Barrier versus Dragon Blade. This is going to be the fight I think that will either keep Catgirl in this fight, or we're going to another map.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be the case as there comes the Dragon Blade out, but the Sound Barrier is perfectly timed from Kernmaster to keep them all up and healthy, to keep this fight going in anyone's favor. The next pick could be the most... Whoa!
Oh!
It is going to be! That's a huge pick coming in from Laura with a secondary kill, coming at the Grunt mid Sound Barrier cast. Oh my goodness, that's a hero play if I've ever seen one, Billy.
That is exactly what Catgirl needed. I mean, sometimes somebody just has to step up and say, I'm done with your BS. We're done. What a beautiful set of shots coming out of Laura, and now they can hold the point with Dragon Blade. Coalescence will be available. Perseus has now gone over to the Echo, so you're looking at an aerial threat, something we have not seen all day.
Start things off. The Coalescence is here, and that's going to be huge. Kernmaster is down. It is going to be traded out. Kylo Ren finding everything they need in the 11th hour when they need them. The Dragon Blade finding 2. They are going to lose the point, however, as Perseus going to be on this with the focusing beam, taking out the Junker Queen, as it's going to go back into the favor of Crabapple, as Azu is running wild with the Junker Queen. Oh my goodness, Billy. Crabapple have done it in 1. No, not yet. There we go. They've won the first round of Lijiang Tower.
It was the DPS swap once again, Joshua. It was the fact that they popped out the Echo. You got the targets down below 50 cents, and guess what time? It's time for the laser beam to come out, and that absolutely shut them down. Oh my word, what a flip coming out of Crabapple. They are 1 sub-map away from upsetting your number 2 seed Catgirl Empire. And now, what do we see? What kind of answer back do Catgirl Empire have? This would be the reverse sweep. And I mean, I did not see this coming after what we saw on Colosseo. Just the fact that where we're at right now, this is absolutely insane. Perseus is going to stay with the Echo, so we might have 2 Junker Queens or 2 Sojourns on this map. The May is coming out, though.
There's your pick. There's the Junkrat coming out for Perseus. The May as well. That's going to be huge to mitigate the aggression that Azu has been showing on this Junker Queen. As we'll see, the spam damage is coming in, but Laura is going to start things off with a nice secondary fire to open things up for the side of Catgirl Empire. They got everything they need, and they're going to push back Crabapple for the time being.
Yep, they're going to have to deal with the Maywalls because that Maywall sectioned off Grunt, and he was not able to get out of the point, and so this is exactly what you want to see. Kernmaster just holding the point, making sure that they get it up and ready to go. by Pangalex. What a knife!
Well, a knife indeed, a Hyper with the knife of their life there as they're going to start things off and pretty much win them that fight, Billy.
Yeah, I mean, one shot to rule them all, and now Perseus, I didn't even notice this, had swapped over to the Mei. So now they're going to answer out Mei for Mei.
And then to try to start things off, that's a big Mei wall coming in for Perseus, but it is going to be countered out with a Mei wall of their own and mitigate the onslaught. As now Azu is going to come back here. Hyper is gone in this fight, and that's going to be huge.
Oh.
Everything's coming up now strong for Crabapple as they've taken out 2 in this fight. They're looking for some more, and they are going to get that Pangalex with a kill. That's going to be the fight 1 for Crabapple.
Oh man, Azu, I think got a little ticked off there. That knife seemed to be a little bit personal, Joshua, going into poor Laura there. But now, Blizzard ready to go. But Perseus is actually caught up, started off the map on the Junkrat,
Wow.
has actually gotten themselves back in line.
Wow. That's going to be huge as Laura, though, is going to find a disruptor shot kill onto Perseus when they just built up the Mei ultimate. And that's going to be huge. They only had to use that Blizzard to come back. They didn't really find the value you might have liked to with it. But the Coalescence is now going to be used by Crabapple. That could be a game changer.
Wow.
That it's no longer on the board. The Coalescence is now off the board for both of these teams as well. Current Master showing out on that Lucio, however, going to win them that fight.
Yeah, but they end up equaling what we saw come out of Catgirl Empire. I mean, they are now 5% ahead. But look at the bank for Crabapple. This is going to be one dynamic fight. Both Coalescences are off the board, so sound barriers. And the Blizzard should win Crabapple fight. Just depends on where they set this wall.
Ooh, that's going to be a huge icicle to the forehead to Kylo Ren. That's going to be an opening that they needed in the end. No more Mei wall to mitigate the aggression from Crabapple here. They might not even have to use this Mei ultimate to win them that fight. They did use the overclock, and it's going to find 2 with a 1. Oh my goodness, that's a 2-for-1 special if I've ever seen one.
2 for 1. Well, let's go for the triple there, because that's exactly what happened. And what a disruptor shot once again. I mean, Pangalex has been showing up on this Sojourn, and now we're just going to take a look. Pangalex once again!
The commanding shot is going to be used here to get them back into this fight. They're going to be ultra aggressive. They're not going to want to let them get to the back point here. They're going to use the Rampage, but the Blizzard was still available, and they're going to just delete Hyper off the face of the map.
That was a wonderful wall, wonderful use of the Blizzard. And now they're still going to have this Rampage, so everybody's going to be antied. Everybody's going to be weakened going into this fight, and it's just a scary proposition. Oh my god, what a wall.
That's a huge wall, but Perseus is going to pay for it with their life. They need to follow up on that massive ultimate coming in from Azu. And they do. They've taken out Kylo Ren, and they need some more picks, however, to win this fight. Oh, for Crabapple, the Coalescence is on the board for the side of Catgirl Empire, and that's gonna be huge, but it is going to be the first one used because now Butters has their own on the board, and that's gonna be what they need in the end as Pangalex. Oh my goodness, finding all this value with the Sojourn. They're gonna pop the overclock and just throwing out the time. The overtime bar's ticking down. We've seen the upset. The 15 seed has beat the number 2.
What a series. This is what Overwatch 2 is all about. Nobody's completely out of the match until it is done and dusted. Yes, Laura was fantastic in this, but Pangalex had the better Sojourn performance. What a absolute turnaround. The reverse sweep is done and dusted, and that's exactly what you want to see from the underdogs.
Yeah, what an incredible plays. Yeah, like you said, Laura was great, but I mean, Pangalex was just otherworldly. They did
that
not.
Is quite the way to describe that match, otherworldly. There were so many back and forth moments there. I was watching from behind the shadows, and I was just on my toes. Like during Lijiang, when the fight went ahead and flipped from like Catgirl to Crabapple, I was like, "What is going on here?" Very entertaining to say the least.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It was everything that I was hoping for out of my first experience here in the Bad Pachimari League. So I tell you what, the underdogs though, Crabapple, 15th seed, getting the reverse sweep and really showing their teeth here. And I'm definitely interested to see how far they actually go through this tournament because, man, the DPS duo is somebody that they have got to be watching out. Whoever faces them next, better watch the VOD on this one.
Yeah, they definitely do have to do it, indeed. They're going to have to somehow shut them down as we're going to look at the A-League standings here, MFG.
Yeah, we see it looks like all of our matches so far have actually ended in 2-1 scores, which is a pretty nice even look. So right now in our top, we have Poseidon, we have Solar Snack, Crabapple, and Sail. And those that are now are the bottom. We've got South Beach Shooters, Yo What's Poppin', Catgirl, Empire, and Swordfish. So that is for A-League. Not sure if we have the B-League standings in yet, but we will let you know as soon. But next match for the A-League is going to be White Collar Revenge versus Kingpin. So stick around and don't go too far.
Well, and this is going to be the it for me. I'm going to be signing off here as Billy, you're going to stick around, but you're going to be joined by the incomparable Septilence coming in for this next matchup.
Oh, every time I tried so hard to break these walls, I'd always be afraid to lose myself and fall. And when I took this path, I never ever thought it'd steer me wrong. No, beauty doesn't last forever. The memories I'll always treasure. I didn't know when I found myself I could do anything, and you stand there thinking about what should be without me. Boy, you can try, but I'll only ever be true to my heart. I've always been who I really am from the start. I lost you, then found me. Baby, I don't need your sympathy, your sympathy. I lost you, then found me. So who's the one that wins the game?
They're falling the That's a pair of cross if I've ever seen one.
Spawn comes out. This could actually go any way. Lily's pulse could be massive here. It gets one. Reborn's got a pick as well. Reborn's Spawn comes out. That's going huge as well. And now, somehow, Lily's killed 4. Man's gonna have to do more to be able to protect.
Oh, the Brawl cuts out a 5-4-3, 5-4, and the back.
They're going in with it. It's blade. He's gonna get the break. And absolutely the strike on the back line. Dragon comes out. It's just.
My lord, it's so much damage, but here's Lamb instantly vaporized this first match in there. Upper clockwise finds a nice 3K barrage there. Oh my lord, 4.
It out and draw fort. The Goliath of today. They will stop David and be your BPL Winter Snowdown champions.
This is going to be it. The polarity with the reverse sweep to win the BPL Winter Showdown.
Pico's Prison Break S League.
Your S League.
Your S League champions. Your God Gamer.
I lost you, then found me. Baby, I don't need your sympathy, your sympathy. I lost you, then found me. So who's the one that wins the game?
God.
Very.
Oh my goodness, Butters.
Hey.
Oh, that's a juicer.
That just happened. That shatter just happened.
TP up to the top. There's the death block of the lamp. Really good to kill it. And there's Roadsaw with Creed.
Also finding Gab and Phosphorus. What a Widowmaker.
Another? Glove! Gonna go tunnel rage off their own. If they do give us the wave off, it's like a scream! Everyone's just juggling them into the air. They get 3 kills. The monkey club is still slowly progressing. The bottom on the side of blue can be pieced by big stun. Oh,
shatter.
And the remix, this is just it. Blue Screen have swept it. They've absolutely swept Sub Tournament 5. They haven't dropped a match.
I lost you, then you found me. So who's the one that wins the game?
Hello, welcome back to our BPL Beta Brawl 2, our second installment of this tournament since the Overwatch 2 beta is back. I am MFG, joined once again by Chef Billy, and now as well as Septilence. We've got a fun match up for you today. We've got White Collar Revenge going up against Kingpin. So if we want to look at the bracket, see what's going on right now, see what's at stake for these two teams, we see already some results from our first matches of the day. Now we're going to see who is going to be continuing in the winner's bracket and who will be bumped down to lose. This is kind of like a try-Swiss, if you will. So basically, if you win 3 games, you're in. If you lose 3 games, you're out. So obviously the best case scenario is for them to win. And in case any of you guys want to have all the stats on each match going on today, we do have multiple streams that you can check out. So we're on the A stream right now. Obviously that's going to be our main stream, but we also have our B and C streams going on. C stream is going to be an alternate stream for our A League, and B stream is going to be highlighting some matches from B League, which is our obviously sister league for our A squad. But speaking of squad, our main stream event today, we've got our Kingpin squad going up against our White Collar Revenge squad. We see many names, both new and old, particularly the captains of both of these teams. We've got Seal, we've got Tekujin, both of them very popular in the Overwatch BPL community. Nowadays stepped a little bit back, but they have arrived for another BPL showdown. It's going to be a very fun match to see.
I'm absolutely looking forward to this one. It's the 8 seed versus the 9 seed, so theoretically they should be pretty evenly matched. We were talking before we came on the air. Worst cast, hope you're watching, buddy, because we're going to be going in on you hardcore, because you're one of us playing in the game. I'm coming for you. I'm going to be judging you. The side eye will be real.
It always feels a little bit easier to pick on the casters, right? Because it's like we're all in this ship together. We're all here telling the same story, right? We've all been on probably both sides of this deal, this trade. So yeah, we're ready. We're watching you. We both know you. We know you're on the team, and we are watching. But I'm super excited because, full disclosure, yesterday was my first ever Overwatch 2 broadcast. It was something I had come into brand new. Obviously, very familiar with the first game, right? But the second one I was coming into is brand new. I just played Coliseo for the first time today. I had never gotten it in my queues before. And I've been doing a lot. I've been watching as much as I could to learn about everything that's going on around us. And I just hope that these teams bring out those weird, funky, fresh team comps that I am, fingers crossed, hoping to see. My background has been changed against my will, actually. I'm not the one changing this. And it is already confirmed to be Coliseo, so I'm very excited about that.
Okay, well, I'm definitely looking forward to this. I mean, Coliseo was the first map out for last time. So one thing that I want to really point out to all the viewers out there, when you're playing on a push map, it's not necessarily about how well you do in the team fights. It's how you disengage. Once you get a certain amount of percentage, that is where we will see these teams really show their mettle, because you can lose a team fight, then regroup as a 5 and not lose any more percentage. You can just keep doing this rubber band effect over and over. So that's the big thing that I want to really point out to people, is that, yeah, you may have, 90 meters like, oh man, they need to be on the payload. They need to be up with the robot pushing along. Once you get certain amount of push along, you may not have to actually take any more percentage there towards the end goal. And that's the big thing that a lot of teams are starting to find out, is that you can take these disengages and really use it to your benefit. You can pull ultimates out, making the other team get ultra aggressive, and you can just kind of ride back the way to say, yeah, chill, do the vibe, and we're good.
It's definitely an advantage here with our second installment of the Beta Brawl, because the beta has already been out before with our first tournament as reference. So like you said, people are kind of now starting to figure out how to play certain game modes and characters. And I know that we touched on it in our first cast of the evening of how there's been a little bit of changes in the beta, recent nerfs and buffs. There we go. I was about to say nuffs and burps for certain characters. So I'm eager to see how they're going to adapt here, because we did see a lot of great play from the Junker Queen. I believe we saw a little bit of Orisa, but definitely some really nice hardcore plays from the newer characters in the roster.
Yeah,
I think so, Drew.
And I was going to say, Sojourn. I'm headed the exact same spot you are, Billy. I want to talk about Sojourn and how I think she is such a unique character in the game. It really comes down to this individual, almost like 10% faster than anybody else kind of play style. Because you are constantly managing 2 styles of weapon 100% of the time. You're keeping an eye on that charge. How often can you use it? How much value can you find with it? But at the same time, you've got to fill that DPS role. You can't just be waiting for that overcharge, that overclock, and waiting for those railgun strikes. You've got to be filling that DPS hole. And when there's other characters in this game that deal as much damage as a Cassidy or a Hanzo or a Junkrat, you've got to be hitting every single shot to keep up. I think Sojourn, more than almost any other character in the game, is a great definition of feast or famine. Either you are leading your team to victory or things are falling behind.
We absolutely saw that on our last series. Sojourn turned the game around. The other thing that you got to really be looking forward to when you're going into these, especially with a Sojourn, is that the what I call the nerfy buff. So it's 1 less shot per second, but it's also they've kind of focused the beam of firing. I was playing her a little bit earlier this morning at truly degen hours, but they. When you're looking at the spread now, the headshots are going to come a lot easier when you do get that range up or that charge up to 100. They're more precise. The hitbox seems to expand, and that's something that can really help with a Sojourn if you're managing that railgun charge. If you get it up to 100, anything near the head is almost a confirmed kill. So that's something that we need to be looking at, something that we saw happen in the last series. These changes, they're starting to really fine-tune this in. I'm loving what I'm seeing from the dev team. They're listening, they're tuning, and I think that this is starting to become a very polished product.
I could not agree more. And something actually similar to kind of the point you're bringing up here. A friend of mine and I were talking. We were talking a lot about how it really feels like they're starting to take more drastic risks, and they're really bringing out these new and unique ideas rather than kind of a rework of what we've seen before. And I think we see that in both the Junker Queen and in Sojourn. I think the Junker Queen is a great example of a lot of new mechanics. She's the first kind of close quarters but still using a gun character that we've seen. I think that's very interesting. She's got that bleed effect, which is brand new. You look at Sojourn, she's got the railgun. We've never seen anything like that. I mean, there are so many new and exciting changes coming out right now, and I'm right there with you, Billy. I think we are headed in a very fun and new, exciting direction.
I've got to ask you, though, what do you think about a tank having an anti-ability?
Okay, so I am a little bit on the fence about this, and let me explain why I'm pro this, because I know a lot of people are against it. When this game first came out, I thought Ana was going to be overpowered to the moon and back. She's got the strongest CC in the game, one of the few remaining, and she can anti-pick it. And I think if you give another character in the game that same anti-ability, it almost intentionally oversaturates the pool. It no longer makes it a unique option only for Ana to have, and makes it more of an expected ability rather than a game or a fight ending ability.
Right. I'm on the fence with you with that. I'm kind of leaning the same way. I just think that the duration of it is a little bit too long.
Yeah. Okay.
Because Ana's is not that long. I think if they put it in line with what Ana's is, I think that then we have a absolutely fair game, and you have to expend an ultimate to get that. So, there is a trade-off when you do get this out.
Speaking of trade-offs, oh, what a funky wall! I love that. It locks out the Genji, eliminates that wall climb ability, and it gives a little bit of White Collar Revenge some space to move before the turret goes down. That's not enough to really push off the backup. But Billy, we've got to talk about this Reinhardt. I mean, this is going to be a make or break. You see Torbjorn already gone. It looks like Junker Queen not far behind, and White Collar Revenge, the Reinhardt working, and I'll be honest, to my surprise.
I mean, I love it, and this is something that myself and Bullskunk and my little crew we're talking about, is that the engage. Junker Queen wants to get in your face. Well, guess what? You've got a rocket-powered hammer melee attack coming in on cool. I mean, there's no cooldown on it. So you can swing with the beauty. If the healing is there, which it was not there for poor Tech again, you have unlimited melee. I mean, you can take the space, and you've got the shield as well, something else that Junker Queen does not have. So the one thing that's big difference is that Junker Queen will just run through that shield when they do go on Rampage, and Reinhardt will be a sitting duck at that point.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I think Reinhardt is going to be a very kind of Yeah, I think we need to be playing him in a new style than we used to, right? There's no longer a defense matrix to save us. There's no longer a Zarya bubble to save us. And I think Tekugen is going to give us a really good example of how this can work well or can be devastating for the team. But right now, it seems like things are really Optical Crash swings in and takes Kingpin apart. Tries to turn 2 into 3 and is able to do so with the help of Panic B. Worst going to be able to pick up that kill. And I've got to say, my man, he is putting in the numbers with this Junker Queen so far. But he's got to put in just a few more as White Collar Revenge. We're on top, and it looks like they're staying that way.
Yep, they are absolutely staying on top here, and they're going to get even more progress going forward here. Jam is coming up close on a Transcendence. So, with this approaching Blizzard, you're going to have something to keep you up. But are you going to be able to survive, especially if you throw in this this window coming out of Paul? This could be the make or break moment here from Kingpin.
Every moment really does feel like it could be the make or break, and I'm right there with you, Billy. We see the Torb turret go down. We've got the Blizzard coming in quickly, but Jam is there with that Transcendence to try and save the day. Unfortunately, does not have the line of sight on Worst. Already down. Removed from the equation. That Rampage gone as well. This Blade here to try to clean things up for the side of Kingpin, but can't find much. The Molten Core used as well. They're dumping every ultimate under the sun that they have locked and loaded. They're able to find 2 eliminations with them. 2 is going to turn to 3 as the DPS collapse out of this bad team. Take down the Immortality Field and White Collar Revenge. Oh my goodness, it is Tekugen trying to be the hero they need. Puts down 2, has to put down quite a few more to really make it worth it, but unfortunately will not live long enough to tell the tale. Kingpin coming back to life.
I mean, the Molten Core into the Blizzard to kind of save your team without allowing White Collar Revenge to get in there and confirm those kills. Absolute brainiac move there. I love to see it. And now, big difference is that they're going to have to use this Immortality Field to defend against the Rampage, and they have nothing else to defend against it.
Yeah, they really do not have anything to block against this Rampage here, and it looks like Worst is just now getting it locked and loaded. The left shift comes in quick, but no pin. Going to be followed loose. Another Reinhardt a little bit out of place. Going to be caught by the Rampage. Looks like that Lucio is as well, and Worst is going to be swinging, but down. Blink and you miss it. 425-0. That Railgun coming in clutch. Now it's going to be Optical coming in with a double, or 2.5, as that is the turret going down as well. Looking to make it a 3K, but going to be booped back. I think it hardly matters, as it is just the Sojourn show right now, taking out every single player brave enough to show their face. White Collar Revenge, they are large and in charge right now.
See, and there's the yin and yang of this map type, is that they knew when they could take this fight. And look at this, you forced the Junker Queen out. Now we're seeing Worst bring out the Reinhardt mirror, and I mean, they're just going to get bursted down. They're going to have to hold up. The Baptiste window's going to, or Immortality Field's going to keep it up, but there we go. Big Reinhardt MTD moment.
Oh my goodness, I mean, an MTD moment indeed, Billy. That is going to be a double kill coming in quick. Worst on the Reinhardt, taken out just as quickly there. Torn turret finds a little bit at the end of the day, but is it going to be enough to keep the dream alive? Right now, it is still going to be White Collar Revenge keeping this bottom moving, and they're getting danger close to that secondary spawn point.
They really are. This could be forward point unless they can touch here. Shatter is at the ready for White Collar Revenge, so we'll see if this is going to be able to get taken. Or if we're going to just kind of hold the line, because Tekugen is super low.
Super low indeed, but it's Worst that goes down next, unfortunately. V comes in quick, trying to find a little bit of damage with the Torbjorn, but we're in one of those situations where maybe too little, too late. Reinhardt goes down. You've got that Molten Core to try and save the day, but do you choose to use it? It looks like they are certainly going to. They find another elimination. Quick, the turret is gone, but that Molten Core clears up the bot, makes it that much harder to get it through into that secondary spawn point, and keeps Kingpin in a winnable scenario. We've got more than enough time on the clock for Kingpin to turn the tides, and it looks like they're getting ready to do just that, as that Baptiste and quite a few teammates go down.
He was looking for the hammer kill there, and I was hoping he was going to get it, but Yahoo right now is showing up big. I think that this Torbjorn pick, while I was kind of skeptical at the beginning of this, yeah, I'm actually kind of warming up to this. So, I mean, you do have Overclock and Shatter to go down. I mean, Shatter into headshots, that could be an absolute game changer here.
It really could be a game changer here, all things considered.
Oh my god.
Come on, Optical, let them breathe with a single railgun fire. Takes the out of the fight. Panic V falls as well. We're missing a DPS on both sides. A clean 4v4. Tekugen trying to get rid of Worst and able to do so. Gives White Collar a massive general team advantage. There's no more shield. There's no more Shatter. And there is nobody to save Kingpin from Meister, who is just playing supportal combat on this Lucio right now. Takes down, I think, 3 in the Chaos. Paul to find 4. And that is going to be White Collar Revenge finally getting this bot moving.
Hold up, we got to go back for just a second. Did you just say supportal combat?
I did. I can't take credit. Unfortunately, not acceptance, but I heard it on a broadcast and I loved it, and now I try to bring it up as often as I can.
Okay, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I love it. This is making my day even better now that I'm getting new phrases put out there. Torb versus May here. Yeah, you lose that one every time. Actually, Paul getting the confirmed kill there. But, I mean, looking at it now, we do have forward spawn activated. So, this is going to be dire straits here for Kingpin. They're going to have to pull all the tricks out here. And seeing...
Oh, no!
Oh, no! This is it.
Gen. Oh, okay, it looks like it's not damaging the team too poorly, but I'm thinking next fight is when things are going to get hairy, because that Reinhardt, it's going to take him a minute to get back, right? Instead, it looks like they're going to choose to step back, try to catch up with their Rein and push back in as a full 5. These swapping out to Widowmaker here. Billy, how do you feel about that? Because I don't think I like it.
I don't like it at all, especially, I mean, going in up against this Reinhardt shield. I mean,
Exactly.
It's still the glowing health saver of life, and I mean, Shatter's going to be available post support ultimates as well.
I think May would be a perfect pick here because it just turns Reinhardt into haha funny rectangle man, right? And it makes it very hard for him to do much else than hold up that shield. But currently, with nobody to directly counter this Reinhardt, there's no Sombra, there's no May, there's not even a Cassidy. Flashbang doesn't do the same thing, but it still packs a punch, right? It can be very impactful against this Reinhardt. But instead, Tekugen just gets to walk forward and hold left click. I mean, just tanking 85 damage a swing.
I don't hate the Sigma pick here, to be quite honest. Oh, gosh.
Oh!
What?
Saved Jam's life.
Yep, I mean, that's going to win the fight there. That's going to have to be everybody getting out right now. And Gravitic Flux is available to Worst here. If he can land that rock, which he did! Oh, I was going to have a field day with Worst there, but he actually got the full value out of it. And bye-bye, Tekugen. You should be going down? Oh, I guess not. I guess his healing was there. So, Overclock is available. So, you can throw them up in the air with this Gravitic Flux and just start landing headshot after headshot. This should be the point where we see Kingpin actually get some more progress going. They just have to really cycle these ultimates in the proper way.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking here, Billy. With Gravitic Flux coming out early, and let's see if that overclock comes through. No, instead it's the Shatter. Gonna take down, I think, 3. Nobody's officially fallen yet. They've forced out Overcharge. They've forced out Transcendence, and all of a sudden, Kingpin have no more ultimates in their back pocket. They've got to win this one high and dry. The first Elam coming through from Tanic takes down Champ. Zenyatta, Discord, offline. There's a hammer kill from V. Square in the middle of the fight. Takes out Tanic Beast. Now we're looking at a 44 DPS and a support missing on either side. Optical Crash looking for some kills and able to find at least one. Trying to find one more. The Wrap making up for that missing Zenyatta, but it is enough sustainability. Another charge online, but it's going to be with the brings out Molten Core, and Billy, as this timer burns down, this is becoming a now or never moment for Kingpin to win this map.
And they have nothing in the tank other than approaching Gravitic Flux. So, I mean, if Worst can actually hold themselves through this fight and get up to this Gravitic Flux, I think they have a chance to win this. The turret is getting work done. The hammer is getting work done.
Wow, two in one fight there, Billy. That is not something we see very often, but he is just coming through with them, putting them away. 2 hammer kills in a row, and believe it or not, those hammer kills very important to Kingpin and their success of moving things forward. With only 20 seconds left on the clock, they cannot afford to lose even a fraction of a fight here.
Oh man, this is going to be difficult here for Worst, because if you go into Gravitic Flux, Tekugen is just going to land the hammer, and you are Dunsky.
I mean, that's exactly what they're going to be looking for, right? That is Tekugen's win condition right now. But is that a colossal flux? What is that, 4 up? I mean, my goodness, that is an amazing opportunity for Kingpin to come in and capitalize, but unfortunately, no capitalizations quite yet. Yahoo finds Immortality Field. That makes all damage and eliminations permanent now. I'd love to see Tekugen give us a top rope shatter, and it looks like we're gonna get one! Tekugen goes in quick, takes down Georgie Boy. Worst not far behind, and that has to seal the deal here. White Collar Revenge, they are coming in hot on Coliseo.
Lord. Somebody please give me a tag on that Twitch clip, because that was freaking huge. I want it tagged in on. Oh my god, I love it. Okay, but let's talk about the Sojourn. I mean, we talked about it in our beginning. Once again, it's this buff that they got when you're getting higher up into the railgun charge. See, right there. It is a railgun shot at near 100%, and I mean, the marker was not completely on the head, and it still took their head off clean. So, my word. I mean, this is a great start here for White Collar Revenge. They're their number 8 seed. It was back and forth. Once again, I mentioned in push, it matters how far you get, because then you have to run it all the way back. So they knew their win condition, and that top rope shatter absolutely sealed the deal. I love seeing plays like that. So man, we'll see if this is going to continue a trend here for White Collar Revenge running the Reinhardt, because it is a natural counter to the Junker Queen.
It's really fascinating as well, because before Junker Queen, a lot of people were very afraid of Reinhardt's kind of versatility. He was all of a sudden no longer that constant main tank we could always rely on. It got really scary. He was his own tank. It was much harder to succeed without a D.Va, without a Zarya. And now, as Junker Queen's come out, and she has just skyrocketed to the top of popularity, we're seeing Reinhardt really make a return to the front, to the front of the fray. And I think that is going to be a fascinating kind of thing to keep an eye on as we move further into the existence of Overwatch 2.
Yep, I think that we'll take a good look at and see what Reinhardt's role is going to be here moving forward. Now, Paraíso, we're going to Brazil, so I'm very happy with this change. I love this map. This is one of the most vertical maps I think that I've seen in all of Overwatch. If Winston was in a better place, I'd say this is a perfect Winston map, but it is a great map for Pharah. Pharah has gotten a lot of value here. I've seen it only once in Tendy so far, except for in Australia, where they love their Pharah there anyways. But I think that Pharah here is a great pick. I think that the Echo here is a great pick. Anything that can fly, you can run the Mercy here. If you can figure out how to do the super jump mechanics now, it's definitely a flyer's paradise. If you can take and control these high grounds, the team that is running up against that is going to have a hell of a time trying to defend against it, or aggress past beyond it. So we'll see if that's how it's going to be. White Collar Revenge on a 1-0 lead as we head into Paraíso.
Yeah, Paraíso, a map that, full disclosure, keeping it 100 with all of y'all watching, I have not cast before, so I really am excited to see what is going to be brought out. Like you mentioned, I expected Pharah and Echo, because even looking at pictures, you nailed it, Billy. This map is vertical. Notably more so than almost any other map in the existence of Overwatch, and I think that brings a really unique sense to the game, because it's going to call for team comps that aren't going to work on other maps, like you said, like your Pharahs, like your Echoes. It's really going to spice things up here. It's going to be interesting to see what the comp becomes over time, what makes this map kind of interesting, or what makes the meta here necessary to change.
There's 3 very distinct points here. The first point can be won with a combination of air and land. I think point 2, you really need to, if you really want to succeed well, I think that if you have that aerial threat, because you're going through the favelas of Rio de Janeiro, right? So the crowded slum areas of Rio de Janeiro. So you've got tall vertical buildings. You have so many sight lines. You have so many peeky holes that you can get a cheeky headshot out of. You can have a Pharah just sitting up there, kind of just rocket boosting from high ground to high ground. And if you're running with a Mercy pocket at that point, you're definitely looking into a world of hurt. So I love this. I love this map. I've only got to cast it once so far. This is the beauty of the new game, by the way. It feels like Christmas Day every single day that we get a chance to see one of these new maps. So, the first one, it was Echo and Pharah. They didn't have a ground-based DPS. It was the killer bees in the sky, and they absolutely rolled.
I believe that, honestly, and I have to agree. It really is like Christmas every time we do this, because when was the last time we cast Overwatch and we were like, I've never seen this map before, and then all of a sudden there's so many maps that's like,
Busan.
Oh, don't tell me that, Billy.
Busan.
Don't tell me that. Oh my goodness, but now there's so much to be offered. The new game mode, the new maps. It really is so exciting, and it is rejuvenating. It's refreshing. As you can see, production letting us know there is a small hardware issue on the side of the Kingpins, I believe so. Or we're just going to wait it out. We get to keep hypothesizing. We get to keep talking about what could come in the future. And Billy, I do, now that we have time, didn't get to talk about this before push because we jumped right into the action. But do you think, and this is kind of a weird point, so follow me through on this. Do you think that Coliseo and other push maps are more reliant on the team's ability to stop the bleeding than on a team's ability to win a fight? Does that make sense?
Yes, it's a disengage. It's the disengage mechanics that we see not enough in our beloved game. I think 5v5 naturally forces that.
Yeah.
But now on these push maps, it's almost a necessity. And I think that's the big difference between all the other map types that we've had so far in our game, is that you have to be able to tactically disengage. That's the big difference with this map type. And that's why I think I love it so much, is that you can't just keep your foot on the throttle all the time.
Yes, exactly.
You have to play as a full team. You have to pull back. You have to be cognizant of what your position is. And it's going to lead to more strategic plays. We saw them running it up the gut, just like in American football. They're just running it, the running back up the hole through the A-hole. And you're not seeing anybody go around like a jet sweep and come around the back of the team and just lay into them. Yeah. So, that's the thing that I want to see, moving forward. You can really, really bring this to the forefront, especially if you're running like a Tracer, or if you're running a Sombra. Sombra is actually getting a lot more play. I think that she could become even better if they do a little bit more tuning on her, because putting the hack out on the Junker Queen, if Junker Queen does continue to be so meta,
right?
Good lord.
Oh, I mean, there is just so much. There's so many things right now, Billy. I'm kind of looking and I'm like, oh, Lord, because there are just some really unique things that are going to be coming out right now. There's so much hypothesizing to be done. There's so much critique to be offered to these heroes and these new metas and this new 5v5 thing that we're all still getting used to. I mean, it is just wild how much possibility there is in all of this brand new Overwatch 2, and I am eating up every single second of it. I am loving it. And right now, we're going to be seeing a couple of choices, a couple of nails were hit right on the head here. We're seeing that Winston, Billy. Maybe it's not actually going to happen, but he is dancing around that hero selection, and an Echo already getting ready to fly high in the sky. I mean, this is going to be a unique fight, to say the least.
I mean, I've been hypothesizing that on hybrid maps now, Sigma is almost a necessity for damage mitigation, for peel back, for the backline. I think that we're going to see the aerial threat come out here. I love that people listen to me. This is fantastic. We're also seeing the Ana Zen, though. And so Discord Orbs are going to be a big counterpoint here. The anti-nades are going to be an even bigger counterpoint, especially if you're looking in at a Primal Raging Winston, or if you're looking at a Dragon Blading Genji. The sleep is going to be huge, as well as the Transcendence.
It's going to be a bit of a slow push here. We should also talk about the substitutions really quickly. We have seen Seal, CEO subbed in for Dorothy Boy on the side of Kingpin, and Zakatar subbed in for Yahoo, also on the side of Kingpin. So it's going to be a couple of changes here and there, but it's Jam, a name we know and love, getting some kills early. Immediately, that Ana going to be falling as well. What is this? Currently a 5v3 in favor of Kingpin. This Winston perhaps a little too overzealous, going in quick, down to 92 HP. He's got the dream. He's locked and loaded. He takes the ass as that ticks away that final breath. Things starting insanely strong for Kingpin.
Yep, and I mean, that's fantastic work out of them. They take the point, and I mean, we saw this happen earlier today. We saw the higher seeded team take the push map, and then all of a sudden a switch was flipped, and the other team showed their true teeth. So as we see the float come out the gate here, the aerial threat wasn't necessarily good. You're not running any kind of a tether to it, so Echo's kind of on her own up there.
Absolutely. Echo has kind of a weird situation going on. She's a little bit reliant. They've removed the turret, that anti-aerial turret. Makes it a little easier for her to get into the swing of things. But still, I've got to say, Kingpin doing a very good job keeping an eye on her, just not really letting her get in close, not really utilize those grenades as effectively as possible. And all of a sudden, we are looking at White Collar Revenge. They've got the right puzzle pieces, but they're really not placed in the correct order. And now, Kingpin, they're just taking every inch they can get. This feels very reminiscent to me of Second Point Junkertown, where if a team doesn't win that first fight, they essentially have to give up the entire point.
Yep, it is. I mean, it's a snowball effect, and I mean, you'll totally see it. And the big thing right now that I'm seeing from White Collar Revenge is that they're running the Brigitte, and the Brigitte is not able to get in there and get the engage and get the Inspire uptime going, and they're just basically losing out on basically the value that you see coming out of the Brigitte.
Yeah, the value definitely not as consistent, I think, from White Collar Revenge. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that Kingpin isn't all sitting together. This isn't like the fight we saw in Colosseo. This is very spread out, very individualistic. And now White Collar Revenge finally getting the swing of things, getting the hang of this fight, and taking 3 down in the blink of an eye. Might be 4 if Chance can win it, but this is Zenyatta. He is bloodthirsty. Jam finally going to go down. White Collar Revenge, they've stopped the bleeding, but I mean, how long are they going to be able to hold on to this wound?
I'm not exactly sure. I mean, you take a look at the high ground here. Once again, I love the fact that they are holding the rooftops here. So now you want to see, Bob come out in a dire straight situation, put it right on the point. Give yourself any kind of time if you happen to lose somebody out of your team. I mean, Nano Blade is available here.
Yeah, Zach really going above and beyond. They're trying to find the elimination. They've taken down Immortality Field. That is a shoe, and that's the green light for a Nano Blade, but looks like they're going to hold on to it for just a moment longer. Here they come, quick and out of this room, right onto the opposing team. This Winston goes in deep. He knows he wins that 1v1 on the Brigitte. If he can find the kill, pops the Primal, changes targets out of the Baptiste, and finds the Elim off the back of it. Baptiste goes down. White Collar Revenge coming in quickly, and all of a sudden, they are falling apart as Kingpin refuses to let go of that W key.
Yeah, I mean, why would you? Worst is absolutely MTDing right now, and you love to see it. You love to see the Winston, first of all, just get the massive value out of it. And second of all, you love to see the space of taking ability. You know, it's a very flimsy shield. We know that it's the flimsiest shield in the game, but it does get the job done, and it does deny any kind of healing resources coming in.
Healing goes a long way. Learning a lot about that anti-heal, right? Now we're going to have a bit of a Blade v Blade situation. And quickly, okay, finds one, finds two, finds the Immortality Field to boot, and doesn't even need a Nano to boot it, Billy. A triple kill there. Not quite the team kill, but that's got to be enough to keep things moving for the team, for the Kingpin. I mean, they are looking great right now.
Well, the point that I didn't get a chance to talk about is the inside here. This inside of this dance hall slash indoor soccer venue. I love it. There's so many nooks and crannies in here next to the sound system up here. And look at this. Worst is just playing the best version of Winston that you could ever hope for. This is what you want to see when you come in with a Winston. Holding point, really denying any kind of space taking here coming out from White Collar Revenge. I mean, the Sigma is just absolutely getting bodied right now.
Yeah, undoubtedly so. Winston, I mean, that's so funny because you were like, if Winston was better, I think he'd get some playtime. And Worst was like, hey, Billy, watch this. And brings out the most aggressive Winston we have ever seen. Just really MTDing against Krabby Adam, like you said. Now, Rabbinic Flux online should be enough to at least make space for White Collar Revenge to come in and find some great value off the back. But no, instead, they're taking a lot of damage here. It's going to be Krabby Adam going down quickly. 5v4, that tank missing. Brigitte not far behind. And like dominoes, White Collar Revenge will begin to fall here. Another hammer kill for thee. He is looking to farm a highlight reel, taking out the remaining members of White Collar.
I mean, this should be the point taken here.
It's gotta be, right?
Yeah. I mean, you've got Primal Rage, so I mean, even if you do come in, you can just be batted away by the paws of Worst. So this is exactly what I want to see. Going in aggressive, that's what we need to see.
Absolutely. I mean, like you said, keep that monkey on point. A little bit of funky monkey, dance around a little bit, knock some players out of the way, and that should guarantee a point cap. But now as Transcendence comes through, here comes Bob. Every ultimate A through Z about to be used on this point because it is White Collar Revenge getting desperate. Flux didn't work. Bob not putting in the work quite like they needed up to this supercharger here. But no, excuse me. Everybody's favorite aim, Bob, really coming to life. Helping find a double kill there onto, making a triple now as Worst also goes down 0.9 meters, Billy. Less than a meter left. But, I mean, hey, that meter still counts.
The meter does count. We're looking at 3 minutes and 7 seconds here coming in to hold off. Well, it's going back now, but it was at 2.1 meters. So, yeah, I mean, Krabby Adam swapping over to the Doomfist here, working in against a Winston. That could actually be a very good pick of, the damage mitigation. And the Rocket Punch, Rocket Punch got a little bit of a rework as well.
Right.
So we'll take a look and see what he's got in this. And the window is actually getting a lot of value.
Oh, it's only the turret, but still some great accuracy from Chance there. However, you are not surviving a Molten Core anytime soon. Now, all of a sudden, Worst going to be taken down as well. The MTD has finally flipped, and it's going to be Krabby Adam desperate to stay alive, but those temporary shields are not going to keep it up and running. Zakatar comes in quickly. Krabby Adam going to go down, and can Kingpin sneak in a final completion here on this third and final point?
I mean, Discord Orb right now is just, been doing the work. I want to see what White Collar Revenge has as their recontest comes in. They have to take care of the turret first, but now the Blade is out.
Blade has come out. Can it be as effective as it was last time? And already it is living up to the tail. A double kill comes in quick, trying to find a triple onto that Doomfist, and not quite able to do so yet. There it is. There's the triple kill, but traded out for two of your own teammates. That's all of a sudden making things worse for Kingpin here because they needed those players to stay alive, or do they? As Zakatar now by 4 can make it all 5. That is a complete and total team kill. At least all 5 members taken down by the Blade at one point or another. They are going in, and Worst is taking them right back out. This has to be it. Kingpin, my goodness, talk about a bloodbath here. Zakatar refusing to lose.
Well, I mean, they did knock down that time percentage down to 32 seconds. So whilst it was a bit of a pub stomp going through the streets phase and the initial part of this, I tell you what, White Collar Revenge actually put up a pretty decent last point hold. So now they're going to be looking to match up against what Kingpin did there. And I think that, if you're going to continue to run this brawl, man, I think that you have to first deal with the Winston. If Worse does come back out on the Monkey. But we'll see if that's going to be what is the case. Defensively, Kingpin should be, really looking at the Torbjorn again. I don't hate it. Worse is actually going to show us the Sigma here. So that's the only real change from the composition that we saw on their attack. They didn't do enough to deal with the turret. I mean, they recognized it was there, but the positions that D was putting it in, I was actually kind of really super impressed. You saw a lot of value gotten by the turret itself. So we will see what we can see. And maybe they're thinking about putting the turret up there. Yes!
Oh my goodness, perfect. A caster curse, a caster blessing, whatever you choose to call it. It is going to have a little bit of a dance here. They're very excited they got the turret up onto that high ground, and we're going to have to keep an eye out to see how effective it really is. Is White Collar Revenge aware that it's kind of up above them? Is Kingpin going to be able to really utilize it, or is it all for show at the end of the day? Coming in quick, White Collar Revenge, they've got Krabby Adam still on that Doomfist, and Billy, that's a choice I think I really like.
I mean, it's a good initiation, but what kind of follow-up are you going to have? You're going to have to use a dash, or you're going to have to coordinate that dive going in, and then Chance is going to have to start landing these sticky bombs in a hurry. And I think I lost Sepulence there, so D does get the value there onto Krabby Adam, and then we're starting to see, the push and pull come in here from these two teams. Sigma is sticking up top here, looking for whatever he can get. Yeah, Meister actually found out that Torb turret, and now they're going to start pushing onto the point. I don't know if they have the numbers here to really push on. We'll see if Echo can actually get the work done they need to really solidify their point. Look at where this turret is now. It is actually in an insane spot, but Meister once again finds it.
Meister hates it. Meister doesn't want the turret to have any fun, and apparently Krabby doesn't want Jam to have any Zenyatta's. They are on one end of the fun spectrum or another right now. CEO takes out Krabby, but Chance finds that counter kill onto Zakatar. Without the tank, it's going to be tough for White to move in, but if they can get at least one more elim in their favor, they should have to fight in the bag. However, it's that 1-1 trade again, so nobody is really on top of it. Maybe whoever's spawn is a little bit closer. Full disclosure, I don't know who that is, but right now, White Collar Revenge, they have come through. They have found 3 elims back to back to back, and they are looking for that 4th and final one onto Seal CEO to really seal the deal and cap his first point.
I am very proud of you for not getting your tongue tied on that one, because the seal the deal from Seal CEO. That's a lot of S sounds, but there is the first point going in, and we're loving it. I mean, you've got 446 to get through this first Streets phase here. 4 ultimates are going to be online going into this fight. You don't have the tools to really defend against it, other than Worse coming up on this Gravitic Flux.
Oh my goodness, this Gravitic Flux I think has to be huge, because if it's not, I think we're going to get what I don't know, I feel like I should be calling it the Junkertown effect, because I'm always comparing it to Junkertown, but I think if Kingpin doesn't stop this right here, right now, that snowball effect really comes into play. It really makes it difficult for them to hold the cards, but as 2 eliminations have already ended in their favor, getting Danger close to a 3rd, Kingpin's already kind of cut the wheels off the bottom of this payload, and they're going to try to stall out White Collar Revenge a little longer here.
The big thing that we take away from this, well, other than the late stagger kill onto the honor of Paul, is the fact that Jam got the kill onto Meister and got the Transcendence into it. So this Gravitic Flux that's going to come through from Worse is going to be definitely maybe a little bit more lethal because you do have it, because you can get him up in the air, especially if the blade comes through on the end of it, try to take the rest of the team out.
Yeah, and Billy, I've got to say, we are getting Danger close to a full-blown apocalypse right now, but a couple of ultimates going to be used early. Transcendent tanks and survives. It's going to be 4 ultimates, 5 right now, currently active. 3 on the side of Kingpin, 2 on the side of White Collar Revenge. Chance making it a 3rd, giving us our 6th ultimate. Here comes the 7th in the form of the Meteor Strike from, I believe, the Doomfist on the side of White Collar Revenge, and there's so much going on that it's hard to keep track, but I can tell you what, Worst is gone, D is gone, White Collar Revenge, they ain't dropped a darn player yet. They're currently up in a 5v2 scenario. Zach holds onto the blade and does not live to tell the tale. Jimmy is the only player to do so. The rest of the members on Kingpin going down early, but White Collar Revenge, I mean, they emptied the reserves on that one, Billy.
Well, they had to. I think that they're feeling a bit of the time crunch. What happened on point B from their own defense. So now they're trying to get in here and match the same thing, and now they got their own 4 minutes and 47 seconds. I believe that's the time. A little bit grainy on my side, but you do have Transcendence, and Chance goes down in a heap.
Goes down quick. Worst gonna go down just as quickly. And all of a sudden, this blade so far not the brightest, especially as Optical goes down. Zach is not able to find a kill with a blade of their own. Krabby Adam takes out Gem, and it's just a complete and total 1-1 trade scenario. It's weird because it feels like White Collar to me isn't winning these fights, but at the same time, it's like the card has not stopped moving.
It has not, and Krabby Adam is actually creating so much space.
Now they're winning the fight.
Caster Curse once again. Oh, immediately on cue. The other thing is that Chance dropped the Echo and has now brought out the Sojourn, and that's exactly what you want to see. You've got the hit scan potential, you've got the one-shot potential as well, and now you've got the reset available to Krabby Adam into this next fight. This is a very scary proposition. 3:26 on the clock. This could actually be a gigantic time bank.
God, and let me just say, I love watching Sojourn gameplay. I don't know if it's because she's new or what, but it is so entertaining all of the time to me. Gonna be a player down already on the side of White Collar, and the Doomfist, that Space Maker is gone, and that's really gonna put WCR in a really tough situation. Kingpin, they're gonna be moving quickly, trying to find another Elam, trying to really seal the deal. A 5v3 is where they can really be like, hey, we're looking good right now, but if it's only a 5v4, that's a losable fight, and Optical giving us the exact example as to why. Blink and you miss it. All of a sudden, Kingpin falling one by one. The Waffle Iron has been flipped, and it is not in the favor of Kingpin right now. Walking White Collar Revenge coming in quickly. Optical finds one, looks to find a second. It doesn't even need to, as the rest of the team is right there to back them up. That might be our final fight.
Nano could be used here aggressively.
That's it.
Yo, not yet.
What a dash! I thought he used it to get out of spawn, and all of a sudden, Meister's gone, Optical's gone, and Kingpin in their final hour. The Swans song. They are going to fight tooth and nail until the bitter end. Chance finds the turret. They need one more Elam to really make this in their favor. The takes out Krabby Adam. This Ana, she is going to be caught out and taken down by Zach. Finds Chance, and that is going to be the fight ender when they needed it.
Just a little over half a meter, by the way, is how close they came to capturing that. But they're coming in with Overclock. Overclock versus the Blade. Still CEO swapping over to Lucio, so now you've got double flex support coming in here. Molten Core is also on the board, so we will see how they decide to deploy these. Oh man, this is going to be a very intense last fight. The floor will be lava at some point from V, just to prevent the progress from going forward.
And we know the way V loves to use those Molten Cores, right? Very defensively, to keep the teammates alive rather than to find damage. Right now, it looks like they're trying to do just that, trying to make it impossible for White Collar Revenge to come through and get any form of elimination, to even get close enough to deal some damage. Worse in a bit of a tank 1v1 here. Krabby Adam not going to be the one to walk away. Finds Paul, Optical finds Worse, and all of a sudden, things are not slowing down for Kingpin. Hakatar, almost the sole reason for that. Right now, really making this Genji work.
Yeah, but they pop both of their DPS ultimates now, and this Overclock is going to be uncontested. Jam will have the Transcendence here very closely, unless they are the first target taken down.
I was going to say, you got to get him out of the gate early, right? I mean, we're going to see possibly that Overclock come through quickly from Chance. I think that would be a good call. I think you're assuming they've got Transcendence already, so to even bait that out, I think that her Railgun is strong enough to one-tap, so Transcendence shouldn't make it impossible to get an elimination. Optical Crash finds the turret. Here comes that overcharge. Can you find anybody with it? A little bit of damage, but unfortunately not the Elam. Misses that second and third shot. Even that fourth one, not going to be enough to seal the deal, but space has been made. It's a little bit easier for White Collar Revenge to come through. And Billy, all of a sudden, even if they cap, now they're going to have less time than Kingpin did.
Remember, they came in with 4 of a pretty similar time bank.
Yeah.
And so now they're just done. I mean, this probably is going to go to map number 3. We'll have our second map 3 of the day, especially with all these frags coming through here. Kingpin turned on the defense mode there and decided that they were going to go ahead and just exterminate everybody. 10 seconds left on the clock. Nanoblade is available.
Nanoblade available, and we've seen what these Genjis can do, right? Both of them, I think, picking up at least a 3 or 4K already between the two maps that we have seen, excuse me. And now here comes possibly the Blade, but no, it was a bit of a bait. Oh wait, it got the beat! They fell for it, Billy! But they still have that Transcendence available, and that might be enough to save the day. Worst gonna be traded out for Chance. The turret is gone, and it looks like Optical might be able to find possibly one more Elam with this Nano before it runs out, but no. It is! Chases the all the way into the Abyss. However, they've traded that out for their main support, that Ana. The is gone, Jam is gone, and it looks like Krabby's going up. What comes up must come down, and it's gonna be able to find Jam. Seal is gone, and Kingpin, like dominoes, they are going to fall now. The bleeding is not going to be able to stop. They have to continuously run in one at a time to try and win this fight. And the Doomfist, the last one left alive, taken down by Chance's Field. All of a sudden, that AoE damage really adding up.
This is not done yet. This is
It's
not done.
just
We've
going.
got D. It's just going. Tree finally goes down to the or to the headshot. Oh, there we go. That
Yeah,
should
okay, now
be
it's
it.
over. Now it should be over.
No
But this
Dragon
blade,
Blade.
if it's the 5K, you know, who knows? But no, okay, he's not even going to be able to find one thing. As both teams swapping to a Moira in the final moment, I love that. I mean, what a fascinating choice. Is that due to the AoE healing? Is that due to her new enfeeblement ability? Truly, who knows? But either way, that is going to be quite the wrap-up for a situation. We are forced now into extra rounds.
I mean, 90 seconds. I mean, that is a relatively short amount of time to get any kind of ultimates up. So, I mean, White Collar Revenge is going to have an even harder time of it because just 60 seconds on the clock, you're going to have to pull some kind of an extended fight here to try and build up anything, or you're going to have to come out with something that's a one-shot potential. Hanzo could be good here. A Widowmaker to get a first entry frag could be what White Collar Revenge needs to come out the gate, but they're going to go ahead and continue on with this Echo that we saw on their first attack. We saw the sticky bombs to get the work done. We saw the focusing beam get it done. But once again, D will just come out on this Torbjorn, and the turret got so much value building up towards those molten cores that, you know, I don't think that there's really anything that White Collar Revenge can do other than to recognize where it's at once they see it, ping it out, get it taken down, and then try to move in on top of it.
Yeah, undoubtedly so. And there's this weird situation where White Collar Revenge is kind of playing a pseudo, like, kind of dive, but not really composition, where the Doomfist goes in, the Genji is expected to follow, and if they can collapse onto a player from Kingpin in the blink of an eye, they're going to be able to win that fight and most likely flip it in their favor. But with the Winston out and about, it makes it really hard to play Genji. It makes it really hard to play Echo. And I mean, that transfers even to Ana and Zen. So all of White Collar Revenge right now, they cannot overextend as individuals. They need to stay close together as a team, or Worst is absolutely going to capitalize on them.
Oh, speaking of capitalizing, yeah. I mean, we're looking at the Doomfist having to take themselves back out and then going right back in. I don't know if the healing's there. Oh, that's a huge pick, though.
Arguably the most valuable pick, taking a lot of healing off the table. And as Zakatar goes down as well, we're looking at a 5v3, 5v2 now in favor of White Collar Revenge. And it looks like not exactly the strategy I was anticipating on their way out the gate, but one that still looks like it worked pretty darn well right there, coming in quick here. Able to find just about every elim they need to. Optical keeping this Zen stuck on the mini. Worst goes down. The Zen seemingly not far behind. And White Collar Revenge, I'd say against all odds, they have done it. They have kept that first point.
They absolutely have, and it was on the back of that early entry pick coming out from the Zenyatta because they took out the main source of healing. Everybody was scrambling to find themselves a health pack, and it just did not work out for them. So, I mean, ultimate-wise, I mean, we're looking at B once again halfway towards a moment core. That'll stop any kind of aggression coming in.
See how long they can really hold off this aggression. They want to get the cart moving as fast as possible and as far as possible. Seal going to be able to take down that Genji early, and all of a sudden, Kingpin, they're looking like they could end this right here, right now. They clearly for even a moment, Billy, and that should be enough to save the day.
I mean, there's still time on the clock. I mean, they've got fast respawns coming in. The spawn advantage, obviously, in their favor right now. But, I mean, you cannot poke your head out into that turret's AOS. So, big difference, and they have to pull out the Transcendence to try and win the fight.
Pulling out the Transcendence may be a bit of a wild card play here, but if it pays off, then it's certainly not a bad one. Here comes a Molten Core as well. To boot, a lot of ultimates being used because whichever team wins this has a very good chance of ending the fight right here, right now, one way or another. That Nano Winston coming up and through the Molten Core, looking for anybody to take down, going to be punched up and back. That Nano, not exactly as useful as you may have wanted, but a kill was found regardless. That Ana goes down.
Oh, there it is.
Walk away, and what goes up must come down. The Doomfist going to be able to seal the deal. Takes down the Winston, takes down the Zenyatta, and the rest of Kingpin will fall not far behind.
They cannot leave the payload, though. Somebody has to be on the payload at all points now, because once they do get knocked off, once they are dislodged from this point, that's the overtime done and dusted. So I think that right now you take some damage, you get Paul's next nano up, and you go in with a nano blade, or you pull the copy out, maybe bring it in on the Winston.
bringing the Winston here would not be a bad idea.
There it is.
Almost falls off the map, but is going to be able to turn right back around, gets up quick. He's just going for that knockoff potential, right? That kind of forced C9 situation, but unfortunately, just is not able to find it. Optical deep into the back line, and now it's about 6 feet deep as he's been removed from this fight in its entirety. Worst finds one, the finds another, and White Collar Revenge, they are grasping at straws. The puts down Paul with the hammer kill, and that will stop the card in its tracks. Billy, a win condition has been set.
It's been set, but that's a lot more progress than I thought that White Collar Revenge was going to get.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, they really maximized their 60 seconds. So 93 seconds available to Kingpin, or 92 seconds available to Kingpin here. We saw how fast White Collar Revenge took it. And when the main healer went down, that's when it was go time. And yeah, there was a lot of contests that came through, but it was always a foregone conclusion. So let's see what White Collar Revenge decides to bring out here defensively, because Kingpin, if they play their cards right, they're going to have their shot at the streets, the favela phase of Paraíso. So I don't know how I feel about the Zenyatta pick here. I think that you went on speed. I know Chance has not been getting the value out of this Echo, by the way. Instantly was taken out of their Winston copy. Got 0 value out of it, was just completely burned down. So, I mean, the burst potential coming from Chance here on this. I mean, if you land, the headshots or the body shots directly on from onto the Genji, I mean, that should be a confirmed kill. This is going to be a very dynamic fight. Let's see how they deal with this optical crash. I love this pick, though. The Ashe is one of my favorite picks here, especially with the verticality. Yeah. Throwing that dynamite in, being very hard to hit is also part of that. So we'll see how this rolls out. This is a match point for White Collar Revenge.
This is Kingpin's quite literal now or never moment. This is their 11th hour. Which way are they going to walk away? Zakatar goes down to 6 HP. Just really going to be healed back up by the skin of his absolute teeth there. Immediate elimination onto the turret. That makes a little bit more space for White Collar to move in quickly. But instead of the worst, he's going to be holding that W key. He knows the second they find that Sigma, I mean, he is going to be the center of the arc. If that tank goes down, the rest of the team should crumble pretty quickly afterward. Up onto the high ground, putting a lot of pressure down, but taking a lot of pressure in return. 138 HP. Has to wait till one of the supports take a look at him, and finally they will do just that. 80 seconds left. I think they can afford to play this a little bit slow, really. I think they can try to farm up these ultimates, especially as that accretion. I mean, it tickles Zakatar, but it does not find.
No, but the bottom of Meister's flip-flops or sandals there absolutely did find it. And I mean, we're talking about this new mechanic here for the Zenyatta, actually a little bit better protection for themselves. And you love to see it, because now there's a little bit more self-sufficiency in dealing with these one-on-one battles.
Okay, 45 seconds left. We're already down to about half of when I said we could play things slow, and that means we can no longer do that. We're going to need Kingpin to really step it up. They've got Zakatar still rocking that 1 HP. He won't die, but he won't live long enough. Becoming a back and forth scenario, not in favor of White Collar, or excuse me, in favor of Kingpin. Worst goes in quick, takes a lot of damage to boot, forces out Transcendence, but Optical with a 4K, with a quadruple kill. Nobody looks at the Ashe, and he has decided enough is enough. Takes down essentially the whole team.
Yep, I mean, and Bob will be available into this next fight. That was both support ultimates, by the way, in that fight, so nothing to defend against it. I don't even know if they're going to be able to get back in touch.
I'm not sure if they are either, Billy. It's going to be that Bob coming in, catches the Winston, and makes it impossible to touch that point. Billy, it's so funny because there's a lot of things that are referred to when people say the Subtilence Curse. There's a lot of weird things that are related to that, right? But one of them is the fact that I have never done a BPL broadcast that has gone past the least amount of maps possible. And that still lives today. The last 3 BPL events I've done, I've never had a map or series go past the smallest amount of maps available. And it's so funny. I thought I was finally gonna get it, but instead, oh, looks like my webcam turned off. Hey everybody, I'm here, I swear. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, it's never happened. It's never happened. It looks like it's not gonna be happening today either.
Well, I mean, that ends our day. I mean, what a fantastic work. White Collar Revenge got the W here over the 9th seed Kingpin. But I think that Kingpin has a lot to build on here. Zakatar is an absolute menace. Worst casts. MTD, definitely. I think that, pulling the Winston out, which I did not expect, got maximum value. I mean, chef's kiss from me, especially since I love monkey play. So we will see what is going on now, later on down the line. There's more going on tomorrow. We do have our host back up in here. MFG, welcome back. What did you think about Paraiso?
Oh my goodness, that was what a map. I am speechless. There was just so many things going on, and just that ending though, when the Bob hit the Winston, I was just like, can't even see me do it right now because my camera, but I was just like, chef's kiss, like, wow, what a nice way to wrap that up. But White Collar Revenge really came out there to get their revenge against Kingpin when it looked like they may have taken that map from them. But Kingpin, they also played really well, and they were pretty evenly seated going into this 9 versus 8, not too much of a gap. So even though Kingpin did lose this one, I don't think I'm going to count them out of the tournament just yet. They have the opportunity to come back.
I'm right there with you on that. I really, really am. That was as close could be without going into extra maps until the literal last second. I was like, Kingpin could win this. There was never a point where I was like, oh, Kingpin's going to lose. It was down until that final second. I was like, this could still, in the blink of an eye, flip in Kingpin's favor.
Yep, I agree with that. I think that they need to be thinking about maybe not being so reliant upon Torbjorn. While, I mean, the value is there. I don't want to, like, completely diss it, but the hero pool has to be a little bit higher. You have to be able to adapt in the situation, and continuing to kind of bash your head against the wall with the same hero over and over. It could lead to your downfall. It could lead to you being out of this tournament. So I think that's the one thing that I would ask of Kingpin, is to think about what kind of compositions they're going to be running to make sure that they get maximum value, because this could have absolutely gone in Kingpin's favor.
I think we were this close.
Very close indeed. Well, speaking of matches, we look at the standings now to see what happened after that. Not much change. We see White Collar Revenge is up there in the top. And obviously we see that there's been a little bit of a shakeup. You can kind of see Crogecoin now at the number 1, even though the scores are the same, but there's 1s, 9s, and 13s. So we see that Kingpin now, just joining Gerald Dynasty, Nebulous, Demon Mode in the 3rd team, Swordfish, Catgirl, Yo It's Poppin', and South Beach staying kind of in the middle ground. And we've got Sail, Crabapple, Solar Snack, Poseidon, White Collar Fruit Bowl, What Was He Cooking, and Crogecoin there at the top. And it seems also that in our next match, we're going to be having a winners versus winners match. So that one will definitely be one to look out for. But as for me, that's going to be my last match. We're going to have a wonderful new host to take you through it.
Anti-new casters. You know, I think we had 4 2-1s in the first set of matches today. And then the second set were all 2-0. So hopefully we go back to the 2-1 trend, because I love seeing more Overwatch. And I tell you what, this is going to be something I'm going to be in chat watching this as the rest of the night plays out. But man, what a fantastic first couple of series. And Seppi, always fun casting with you. And MFG, wonderful job on the host desk.
Wonderful job to you two. You guys really brought the energy there, making those matches come alive. Definitely, though, the next set of casters and hosts will keep that energy flowing. So don't turn off your screens just yet. Do what they had said and stay in chat with us.
Yo, what's up, BPL? I can't cast the beta Brawl. Sorry about that. Guess what? You know, everyone's favorite push map, Coliseum. You know, I gotta check it out for myself. You know, I couldn't find a push bot anywhere, unfortunately. But hey.
I've had 1,000 dreams of you, like scenes I do like. I stop counting, feels I could try. I should try. Hold my breath, I won't make you wait. You're mine for the taking. My eyes on your shape. You're mine for the taking. Take me where your monsters hide. They don't dance in the daylight. Look down, you've got me so high. I think it's safe to say searching for with a break of a day to follow away to you. 'Cause at the end of the day, I ain't looking for no reason to change. 'Cause everything is good for you. Baby, I can see we're gonna shout it out to the sky. Tell our secrets to the night, so we can see the end inside. We're gonna shout it out to the sky. When I look into your eyes, I can see no better light, better light than love. Baby, I can see we're gonna shout it out to the sky. Tell our secrets to the night, so we can see the end inside. We're gonna shout it out to the sky. When I look into your eyes, I can see no better light, better light than love.
Windmill. What to say? Windmill. I would say it was fun, but I would be lying to you. We did have really good memories, and it was pretty nice overall. But most of the memories that, whenever you think of Windmill, usually they're bad ones. You wouldn't say, whenever someone thinks of Windmill, that you'd remember them fondly. I couldn't tell you what happened. Looking back, we probably should have done well. A lot of the teams didn't even look that great in the playoffs. There was realistically only 2 good teams. But we didn't try. And so eventually we crumbled. And that was that. Windmill was gone. But there is no Chapter 2, baby! Windmill bounce back! Let's go! We're just better than everyone else. It is what it is. We're the best team in the goddamn world. Overwatch 2, we actually roll everybody. It's not even close. I mean, what can I say, baby? Chasey was the problem. Overwatch 2, one take, baby! Now that we've discussed the fall and rise of Windmill, it's time to move on to the next chapter in our story. Introducing the newest use of energy in food-related products, solar snacks. Yes, that's right. We use the sun to create candy bars. It's unstoppable. And this time, our logo doesn't look like a P. As per every Captain video, it's time to watch my mandatory, state-mandated Overwatch montage.
baby. You're the one I can't deny. I wanna take you sky. Take you sky. With you, me riding in the review mirror, stuck in the review. Me riding in the review mirror. They can't believe that I wanna stay. I try too hard to please you. I can't help but need you. You give me this feeling whenever you're with me. I find it hard to breathe. My air you keep stealing, but still I'm believing. You're good for me. You're good for me.
Hello, everyone. Welcome in back to the Bad Pachimari League here on Twitch. MFG had to go take their mandated break, so I'm here. I will be your host, and we're live for 2 Brawl, 2 Beta, and I've got 2 new casters on either side of me. I've got Marks and I've got Spooky. If you were watching over on C-Stream, you already know these guys, but gentlemen, it's good to be here over on the main stream. It's the last match of the night. There's been some incredible play across this so far, and we're taking a look at the winners brackets so far. Both of these teams coming up here have 1 each. We've got Fruit Bowl, we've got Solar Snack coming in the 10th and 14th, and both of these teams have put in pretty impressive wins. Fruit Bowl came up 2-0, and Solar Snack a little bit tougher in 2-1 to get here, but both of them in good spots to keep going and get themselves in this quite kind of odd triple Swiss format. So that means 3 wins gets you into the next step, I guess is the best way to call it. So given all that, there's still a lot to play for, and I think that both these teams are looking hungry. And Marks, I want to start and come to you here. You've seen a lot today. What are you expecting out of these teams? What kind of comps do you think we're going to get, and what kind of stuff do you think we're going to see real quick?
That is such a tall order because, of course, you know, we get ready for this 2 Beta 2 Brawl. Everyone's practicing all of their different compositions. Maybe a couple of people got into the beta early. And then Blizzard decides, now we patch the game. So things are kind of back up into the air. But you know what? We've been seeing over on the C stream, we saw a couple of compositions coming in. And one of the ones that really stood out to me was this Ball Zenyatta composition that is kind of adapted from the end of Overwatch 1. You see a lot of very fast plays playing her with a Tracer, or honestly with a Reaper as well as some Genji just coming in there. Go for those fast dives, attack, get in, get out. And I'm going to be honest, I think that strategy works out incredibly well. So I wouldn't be too surprised if we see a little bit more of that.
I think you're very right. Spooky, we just got our map in here, and we're going to Lijiang Tower. First round is control. Let's jump quick look at these rosters and just get a look, because there are some known entities here, I think, in the BPL. None of us are exceptionally knowing of these teams, but there's definitely some players. So with no context to anything, who on either of these teams stands out to you?
I mean, the first thing standing out to me is the 3 tanks on Fruit Bowl. You only need one.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if they know. Like, you only need one these days. But like you were saying, we're going to Lijiang, so even people who are not really familiar with these rosters, we're going to see 3 very different points on Lijiang. We should see a variety of comps, and we should at least start to get a taste of what these 2 teams are capable of here.
I think it's a good look. I think the other side there, Solar's not keeping 3 supports. Also a little interesting, the support roster never got that boost of heroes yet. We're still waiting on the new support hero, but I have to imagine there's like a main support, a flex support player, and then some sort of like one trick in the side of Solar Snack, who have been around here. Solar Snack, if you are new here, we got kind of a brief overlook of where Solar Snack came from, but they are an entity in this league, and I have to assume that this team probably has a little some more support in the chat, if I'm right here.
Following, if you will.
Yeah, following is
following
probably a
would be
better
said.
word. They previously were named Windmeal, and they had 2 iterations there before they decided to go over into Solar Snack. So, you know what? It's a good point of transition as we get into Overwatch 2.
Yeah, and I think that there's no better time right now to just take that and rebrand, get yourself together, kick out your 6th friend, and figure out who is the weakest link amongst all of you. If you know Windmeal, you know exactly who the weakest link is, but there's no Leak Winks going into Lijiang Tower, and so I think I'll see myself out here as the weakest link as we go into this, gentlemen. Let's have a great cast.
Thank you so much. So, not a weakest link, if you ask me. I would give that title to myself, but that's okay. Spooky, Okay, well, thanks for that vote of confidence, buddy old pal of mine. But yeah, let's get into this. We're going to be loading into Lijiang Tower. First up, let's see how it goes. The sun is nice and shining. A little bit of a fresh new look in Overwatch 2.
Yeah, we're going to be starting out on Garden already. We're going to be seeing some wildly different comps coming out. We've got Winston on one side, and of course Junker Queen, the newest tank hero coming in. I don't think anyone really knows how to play Junker Queen yet, so I'm very excited to see how teams utilize her.
Yeah, the one thing we know is that Junker Queen kind of busted right now, so we're going to be able to see this. But look, it's so aggressive coming in from Solar Snack's Potentiality, trying to keep this one alive, is able to take out the Winston on the attack, but still, it's an absolute brawl going on. So far forwards, trades going back left and right, as we look like it does look like it's going to be Solar Snack able to stabilize a bit, looking to take out this Lucio, but Potentiality has to back off. And yeah, this is going to be a first map point cap for Solar Snack.
Yeah, and we can see Fruit Bowl here running the big aggro, right? You know, if you got the Zen Lucio, you just want to run someone over. You're not really too worried about healing, though Interflux on the Junker Queen does help you a little bit with that, with the overhealth. But you are not going to live long through any kind of extended fights, especially against a Moira.
And I'm looking at Zim, looking like ready to charge up this railgun. Potentiality able to find one in the back. The Flex now just going to be backing off for a second. 2 picks onto Solar Snack, so Fruit Bowl are posed to win this out. But oh, that was an absolute Sojourn diff coming in there. A little bit of a whiff from Potentiality. Still catches Jonathan, though. It's a nice thought right there. And it actually is going to be Fruit Bowl now getting onto point. We're going to be seeing a little bit of a stall here. But Fruit Bowl doing a really good job to win out this team fight. Just looking to now flip this point over to theirs.
Yeah, but before it comes in, stall a little bit, another pick coming out of the Flex, taking out that Zenyatta, and now this is largely stall. It looks like that Fruit Bowl will be able to flip this, but 2 members already back. They're getting a lot of percentage here, Marks.
Yeah, they haven't flipped it over just yet. Now Wi-Fi back into the mix. Finally, a couple of people go down. The Dragon Blade is going to be drawn here, looking for a little bit of value, but gets shut down immediately. It doesn't matter to the Winston. Still back. Yeah, it's nothing but stalls. But Spooky, that's 63% before Fruit Bowl can turn that one around.
That's a good amount of percent, if you ask me, Marks.
Great amount.
Very solid.
Almost
We're going to see
2/3.
some swaps coming out from Solar Snack, but Bakura moving over to the Reinhardt here, potentially hoping to just roll over this composition, maybe get into the back line, take out Saga real quick, and just move a little bit faster with this rough composition.
Yeah, they're looking like they want to go in right now. Interflux looking for an opportunity, pops the Rampage, goes right through the Reinhardt. It's going to be a lot of purple on there, but the Flex is coming up absolutely massive. Able to find 2 picks off. It's going to pull out a sound barrier. The Flex getting pressured down. Interflux wants to swing that axe. Going to make you bleed for it. Doesn't matter, too much healing coming in from Solar Snacks now. Interflux left alone on the point. And just like that, Solar Snacks are going to be snacking and turning that thing back around so it's blue.
Yeah, I mean, we've been focused on the Junker Queen as the new hero, but Sojourn, despite a small nerf coming in with the most recent patch, is still busted, is still pounding. The railgun potential is still so strong here, and Deflect is really showing us what that means. Couple of ults coming in from Fruit Bowl. I'm looking at Zim, see if they can match their counterparts' effectiveness.
Oh!
That's Saga taking the first pick.
That's going to be a sound barrier from Solar Snacks just to try and take that fight. Wi-Fi making that one come alive. Bakura now just going to be leading the charge back onto the point, not giving up an inch. Fruit Bowl looking to take a mile, but are going to be left with absolutely nothing. And that's going to be a very dominant start to this first map coming in from Solar Snacks.
Yeah, I mean, they pounded. I don't know what else to say about that. Everyone seemed to be firing on all cylinders. They've both actually had, well, both teams, you know, have now had a match in the BPL, in the 2 beta, 2 brawl. So they're warmed up, they're ready, they know what they're doing, but definitely does seem like Solar Snack know what they're doing a little bit better, so to speak. And they, like we were talking about in the pre-show, they've been around for a while, you know? They have that synergy built up.
Yeah, absolutely. And right now, it's going to take a lot from Fruit Bowl to potentially stop this. Ironically, I would have thought that the Junker Queen would have been an advantage over the Reinhardt, but Cora's just been doing a really good job at protecting the team.
Yeah, it gives a little bit of extra health, a little bit of extra shields around the team, and then of course the passive survivability just from passive health gain. But Cora is just getting in here on the Reinhardt like nothing. There's not a single thing in the game that beats the hammer up close here, Marks. And I think that's intention. Junker Queen is not gonna win in these kind of very close range scenarios.
Absolutely not. And, you know, we had the focus there on Bakura, but the rest of the team was swarming in as well. Everyone just focused on that Reinhardt, trying to take him out. Just allows Wi-Fi as well as to Deflex to get in a lot of damage onto Fruit Bowl. They're going to get first cap, and now Fruit Bowl have to re-engage here. They're going to get ready for this one. They're starting to move in, but Bakura wants to get right into there as well. They're playing it as an absolute unit and are punishing all of these individual players. Fruit Bowl finally able to capitalize off of it, the back of Zim. And just like that, the rest of the team are going to fall over. And Fruit Bowl, a very good win for their team fight.
Yeah, they don't lose nearly as much percentage this time before they're able to flip. And yeah, Solar Snack, maybe just not getting that one to work out, taking a little bit too much damage while they're trying to approach. I do want to keep an eye on Mahir here. The Moira actually having some changes as well with the Nullifying Orb that I think could work very well with Rush. You get on top of someone, you nullify them, and then they can't do any damage while you take them out.
Junker Queen's in the back line, getting dealt with the Genji. A good deflect coming in from Solar Snack, able to put a lot back, return to sender. And now they're going to be moving in there. Zim already down. The dash is so clean, and now Wi-Fi's in the back line. Potentiality going to be popping the ultimate, trying to find people, but it's not enough. Too many of the members of the team have died, and that's going to be Solar Snack, able to flip things around. The 2 healers and the tank left standing on the point.
Yeah, and this raises the question of what does Fruit Bowl's comp want to do, you know? Like, are they trying to push in on someone? Do they want to kind of stand their ground? Because as soon as Solar Snack got on the point, Fruit Bowl just left. They left and waited to die.
Okay, Zim able to find one in the back line. A little bit of a charge coming in thanks to the Junker Queen as we're going to let the Reinhardt fall down. And now it's just going to be Interflux looking around. Nobody left standing because Fruit Bowl actually just picked up all the fruits and put them right back into the bowl. Solar Snack sent back to spawn.
Yeah, a big pick to start it off. You know, I think Zim and Sega have both been doing a lot of work on the Tracer and the Zen respectively, and that is what Fruit Bowl is going to need. Solar Snack, they've looked pretty behind, but they still are up in percentage.
Interflux using the Rampage, getting in there. Immediately, the Reinhardt can't get any healing, and the rest is going to be history. Everybody just going for a little bit of a swim from Solar Snack. But I'm looking at this next team fight. A lot of ultimates going to be online for them. This could just be a press queue to win scenario, Spooky.
Yeah, there's nothing to block the Shatter just to start it off. So if Bakura can get a big one, potentially if Fruit Bowl want to take another aggressive push, put a few of them on the ground, you don't even need the other ultimates to clean it up.
They're going in through the back line here. Wi-Fi going to be leading the charge. Oh, it's going to be a huge shatter there. Interflux not able to stand up, but Mahir fell right off the edge. It's going to be the sound barrier to make sure that everyone can stay nice and alive. Pulse Bomb gets tossed in, but Wi-Fi is looking at that Sojourn and wants blood. It's going to be a Harmony Orb, actually. That's going to keep him alive, and unfortunately, all of the picks landing only on Solar Snacks. So Fruit Bowl able to hold onto the point despite losing Interflux so early in that fight. Oh, that was the ult.
Deflex gets a pick, but I don't know if it even matters. It's just going to get staggered out. I don't know if Deflex was trying to do the hero play. Someone is going to be able to touch, but it's a 4v4 on point. But Fruit Bowl, they're just able, dude. They were ready for this. Solar Snack are just throwing themselves on. Wi-Fi and Jonathan doing what they can, but you know, Interflux has so much survivability, I'm not sure it even matters. The blade coming out, it just doesn't look likely.
Yeah, this is just going to be a cleanup now, just to stall Lucio. Trying to keep this one alive, but as soon as that falls down, oh, the Wrecking Ball might be able to stall things out a little bit longer. And Mahir's coming back as well. Could potentially swing things around as long as Mahir stays alive, but Interflux just had his number. Now Bakura, they're going to be the last man standing. Still doing a decent job of stalling things, but finally falling down, and it's going to be 1-1 on Lijiang Tower.
That's Purple looking good. You know, I was outing this composition, right? Like, what do they want to do? And I think we saw that a couple times. It's these fast, aggressive plays. I'm thinking back to when the Junker Queen ulted in, and everybody just fell apart. You know, you push forward fast, you have the anti-nade, you have the Discord, you have a Tracer in the back line, and of course the Sojourn just has so much one-pick potential and consistent damage at the same time. It works. You have to go fast, which we didn't really see on Gardens, which is where they fell apart. But it seems like a high-risk, high-reward composition coming out of Fruit Bowl, taking advantage of the new heroes in Overwatch 2, while Solar Snack playing a little bit more conservatively, things that they're comfortable with, you know, this rush style.
Yeah, and honestly, I have to shout out that Zenyatta. The Discord Orb is doing so much to just allow Fruit Bowl to just take members out so easily. And Solar Snacks don't have that advantage. They do have that Moira to at least reduce the damage, but look at this, Bakura already falling so low, barely kept alive on life support. Wi-Fi, though, on the Junkrat is able to find 2, and that might be enough to keep this fight from falling into Fruit Bowl's clutches. Solar Snacks looking to stabilize, get a little bit of healing on for their team. The Moira is so good at those bursts, and they're able to win out fight number 1 and get first cap.
Yeah, and this is, Marks, this is the Rhine point on Lijiang Tower. Every control map has one where just, you know, Rhine is the best pick. This one's a little bit special because you do tend to run the Junkrat as well. We'll see if Fruit Bowl's new strategies can beat the tried and true and tested compositions coming out of Solar Snack.
Ooh, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. They're moving things forward now, just enough to take a couple of members out, both DPS down. I think that also the Lucio. It's going to be a quick cleanup. It's the Junkrat. Oh, who needs a crosshair anyways? Not Wi-Fi, because those grenades are getting max value.
Pumping in the damage. I'm surprised he's only 60% to his ultimate here. A couple fights in, he's getting the cleanup kills, but maybe not as much consistent damage. But again, not a lot of healing on the side of Fruit Bowl either. They're coming in fast, but who are they hoping to get on top of?
Ooh, potentiality. Popping the ultimate, looking for some kills. Able to find Jonathan, looking for Mahir. The rest of the squad might be able to just roll in and help out with that one, though. Mahir's still on point, going to be falling down here. No stall heroes left. It's going to be a very clean cap coming in from Fruit Bowl, but Solar Snacks are over 50%.
Yeah, but bringing out the Mei seems like such a good decision to me. Normally you run these with the Rhine comps. It's an isolation tool along with that ice wall, but it seems like it'll work just as well in Fruit Bowl's composition. And we saw that as they were able to take out Bakura nice and early, but this Riptire may be opening up everything here. But there's a wall. It
just goes over. It just squeezes through the little gap there. Doesn't matter. Potentiality actually finds it with the railgun shot. Don't see that every day. Danky had to use the sound barrier as well, keep everybody healthy, but it's working out. Now we're seeing Deflex pull out the overdrive, looking for picks with this ultimate. Junker Queen falling extremely low, and with the Rhine moving forwards might be enough. Never mind, Wi-Fi is the one who do it. And now the Coalescence just comes on a little bit too late. It's a huge Rampage coming in though, supported by a Transcendence. Fruitful might be able to stay alive just yet. Solar Stacks using their own sound barrier to keep themselves alive as they find Interflux and are now going to go for the quick regroup in order to take out the last remaining members of Fruitful and turn this point around. But Fruitful have already tied things up, Spook.
Yeah, and that's just from Jonathan there, laying down the beat. You saw Fruitful put everything into that Rampage there. They're like, we have the anti-heal, we have the Transcendence, how can they win? It's the Overshield, or the Overhealth rather, coming in from Jonathan, doing so much. And now, yeah, it's Solar Stack pumping their way forward, 70%, and they have a Shatter, and Bakora's waiting for it.
Yeah, oh, he looks for it. Oh, the Maywell comes up just a second too late. It's going to drop 2 down, but it was enough stall in order to make the rest of the team be able to stand up properly. Trades going back and forth. Deflex in the back line, looking to charge up this railgun now. Finds potentiality mid-chaos. It's absolutely a massive pick. And oh, yeah, Solar Stacks are going to be winning this one out. Fruitful will have to regroup fast if they want to touch that point in order to activate overtime.
They got a Blizzard. Somebody touch, and you can use the Blizzard. It's a fast comp. Saga's moving over to the Moira just to get back faster, but Danky. And then the Riptire's coming out as well. The Blizzard is not enough, Marks.
Okay. Oh, they're all frozen on the point, but that's totally fine because it's only a Moira hanging out. Scientist not going to be doing too much. And just like that, that is going to be Solar Snacks winning out map number 1.
Oh, what a map. That was fun.
Oh, yeah. That was absolutely fun. A wild ride coming in between these two teams. We're seeing some of these compositions work out. And let's see Wi-Fi's play of the game. It's definitely just going to be at the end using this Rip Tire here. Oh, my goodness. You don't see a 3K Rip Tire these days too often.
You don't see Junkrat too often, dude.
Fair.
It's coming out, and then that is the whole team frozen like statues to celebrate their victory.
Absolutely.
That was a dirty play, and I don't think any of us had Junkrat 3K on our bingo cards for this round for certain. But that bears some talking about here, right? Because Junkrat was one of those heroes that when we were testing and we were playing, Blizzard went, "Hey guys, Junkrat's really not doing well. Let's give him a buff." And I mean, it looks like it paid off. What do you think, Spooky?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to say. Even buffing Junkrat is not, he's not the best hero in the world, but it's just one of the places where this is his map. It's his point. Yeah. We've seen Junkrat played on Control Center for as long as it's existed. It just makes so much sense. It's so easy to get value out of your nades, and that's continued forward and out too. Especially, no defense matrix, no shields, at least in this game. Yeah. You're just plunking in the nades and getting so much value.
I couldn't have put it better. The value from that Junkrat alone is there, but there was still a lot of value to be had, and that Zenyatta, we saw it on one side, we didn't see it on the other. I mean, how much do you think, Marks, that the Zenyatta really is putting in the difference there? Because Discord Orb is very, very strong. Do you think that that's an adaptation that Fruitful needs to make going into this map 2 here, is bringing a Zenyatta, or do you think they can still force this Moira with these new changes in?
It's a little bit tough. I'm not sure I'm necessarily sold on Moira just quite yet. I'm a big fan of the Zenyatta, but like we've mentioned earlier, Zenyatta got a little bit of a nerf, so it doesn't have as much HP, which, obviously if you're watching Owl right now, you've seen Zenyatta just go absolutely nuts, and that can't be the case anymore. So while I do think that the Zenyatta is still bringing quite a bit of value with the Discord Orb, Moira is a lot more fast burst healings. So it really just depends on the style of going in there. And I think that kind of synergizes really well with Junker Queen. Like Spooky mentioned earlier, Junker Queen able to give everybody just a little bit more health when charging into things, as well as help them move faster. And that kind of pads things out regardless on if you have that Discord Orb on you. It'll keep you alive just that second more longer where you're able to actually get a couple of picks, and then you can swing the team fight in your favor.
Yeah, but we're going in. It's a new mode coming up ahead next. We're still waiting for that map. But, I mean, there was still a lot. And Solar Snack coming in. It looks like map 2, we're going to Circuit Royale, another new one. So everybody's excited. We've seen it in Overwatch League. Great map. This is where traditionally we've seen those Sigma Widow comps. It might be time to bring in one of those other 2 tanks you have if you're in the side, whoever you had for backup there. But Solar Snack taking this map 1 pretty decisively, I think. Spooky, tell me about what do you think the adaptations Fruit Bowl needs to make going into Circuit Royale here?
Yeah, it's hard to tell. I think Fruit Bowls, they definitely have an idea of what they want to do with their composition, and they're playing with Junker Queen, right? I don't think they ever swapped off the Queen, which is like, you know, it's high risk, high reward. Like, nobody knows how to play the hero yet, but nobody probably knows how to play against the hero yet. So it's like, what's gonna come out of that? So, you know, potentially swapping over to maybe something more that people are more used to from Overwatch 1, like a dive comp, or maybe like the Sigma comp that we have seen at the highest level, or even just breaking out the Rhine again. But, you know, me myself, I like seeing Junker Queen. I like seeing teams innovate. I like seeing people try new things.
I'm with you.
Because why not? It's fun.
Yeah. Look, it's the beta. We look at all their new shiny toys. Who doesn't want to play with all these new shiny toys?
Absolutely.
Like, yeah, absolutely. I want to
lock in Reinhardt? What are you? That's so boring.
Come on, I'm big sleeper right now. If we're just gonna lock the Reinhardt comp,
I'm veg.
Get out of here. Yeah, give me Junker Queen, give me Sojourn, give me new Moira. What else changed? Give me Bad Sim even. Like, come on, like Sim's not even great. I would love to see that get some work. But let's get into this game, guys. Let's see what Circuit Royale is gonna bring us, and I'll see myself out to the viewing area because this is gonna get wild. I have to imagine.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when we're talking about Circuit Royale, at the highest level, like you said, a lot of long-range hit scanny type heroes are the quote-unquote meta that kind of come out from all the teams, honestly. But the question is, you know, like you said, these shiny new toys in the beta, do these teams try to innovate, try to catch the other person off guard? Because a lot of these changes are going to change how some of these compositions build. Obviously, if a Widowmaker's just kind of clicking heads, then that stays pretty consistent. But this still does have a pretty good opportunity to introduce things like the Wrecking Ball into the composition, as well as a Winston. You know, the great counter to some of those long sight lines. Just get a big old monkey on top of them, and they can't do much about it.
Yeah, and just in case we need to go to 3, we'll go to push. But, you know, I hope we get the 3. It'd be nice considering both of these teams have that first win, and they're looking to try to bring it out to that third win to keep them into this later section of it. So Circuit Royale, a great place to race yourself towards that completing track.
Yeah, and, well, hey, good joke there. Circuit Royale, we're racing to see it. Thanks so much, though. Yeah. You're setting us up for success. Yes, we're going to be loading in to Circuit Royale, map number 2. Solar Snacks up in the series 1-0. This is a best of 3, which means that if Fruit Bowl don't win this, then they're going to be not forcing out map number 3. They lose this series. That's it, right, Spooky?
Yeah, that is it. It is first to 2. But Marks, we have a couple of swaps coming in. Looks like Pandamon and Silvertals coming in on Solar Snack in the DPS and support role. And then it looks like, I believe Verity is also a new player coming in on Fruit Bowl. So quite a few swaps, potentially for these compositions they do want to run on Circuit Royale. And already we are seeing the Sigmas coming out.
Yep, looks like everybody just taking inspiration from Owl. I mean, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah,
there's a reason why they play it.
I have something to say, Marks.
Okay, you got something to say? I'm ready to listen.
It's a different patch, bro. Like, yeah, you know, sure, you can copy Owl because you've seen a bunch of gameplay and you can kind of understand how the comps are going to work, right? But it's not the same patch. Like, Zen is not as strong. You know, you're not having, like, these incredible Widowmakers, so potentially just throws me off. Like, you're not having Ons on your team, right? Like, all of these are considerations you're making when you're making these compositions. So I'd love to see more adaptation, more innovation, but at the end of the day, maybe the Sigma comp's just the best comp for the map, right? But I don't think we'll know unless players try to innovate, try to do something new.
That is true, but we have seen potentiality as well as Verity. Get a couple of picks right off the bat. Silvertals gonna trade that one right back to Verity, but that is so much progress for Solar Snack. Fruit Bowl haven't even really taken a fight. They're too scared to get nice, close, and personal after losing a couple of their members right off the bat. And just around the bend is when they're gonna decide to try and contest here. And you know what? Solar Snack have been driven pretty far back.
Yeah, it is Fruit Bowl pushing forward here, trying to get what they can, but already Wi-Fi going in, not quite getting the pick that he wants. And this can be a hard corner to break here, but that's a great start.
Okay, well, it's an even better one. Potentiality gets taken out by Pandemon. That's why you bring in a Widowmaker Specialist. And a bunch of members of Fruit Bowl are going to be down, so Solar Snack should be able to defend this. That's a little cheeky angle that I'm seeing here. Looking for something. Might not get anything. An Amplification Matrix dropped down from Fruit Bowl. Just trying to get a little bit more distance, but they got to deal with that pesky Sigma. Wi-Fi has had enough time to respawn. Now an Amplification Matrix coming out from the other side, as a Wi-Fi is going to be going down there. And yeah, looks like Solar Snack are able to keep him back for a second. While we're trying to see whether or not Fruit Bowl can find a moment to try and apply a little bit more pressure.
And this fight's just going on so long here. Fruit Bowl so close to getting over the hump, but just not quite able to do it. The Transcendence coming out and the Flux as well, and Solar Snacks are going to stabilize here. And Marks, Fruit Bowl were coming out so fast, but now only a minute 40 on the clock. Solar Snack are pushing forward. They're going to have the Blade, but not much else. I want to see Fruit Bowl capitalize here. They have the Flux, they have the Transcendence. They need to get these ultimates to give them something, or they are at a very real risk of being shut out 2-0 here.
Potentiality is swapped over to the Genji. Not going to take the Widow duel against Pandemon. Flux online for Interflux as well. She's looking for an opportunity to use it. They're all nice and grouped up. Going to be popping that now. Fly up into the air. Catch a couple of members. Let's see it. Oh, down goes Wi-Fi. This might be the opportunity that Fruit Bowl is looking for. Interflux continuing to move forwards there. Use that shield, but now has that Discord Orb. And there's so much damage coming in here. It forces out the Immortality field. Potentiality, though, doesn't care. It goes right for the back line. Able to find Silver Towels and applying pressure onto the Baptiste. Able to find Mahir and looking for the Widow just for good measure. Potentiality coming up absolutely massive. Beautiful Genji plays coming out there. That's going to be Fruit Bowl getting point number 1.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as they swap over to the Genji, they start popping off. I love it out of Potentiality. And it's a good, it's a good swap. There's a Zen, there's a Widow. They're definitely diveable targets. And it does work out well for them. They're able to keep holding on to the Transcendence as well, potentially for when this Blade comes in from Wi-Fi. Fruit Bowl look good to potentially push all the way to point B, if not further.
Yes, Wi-Fi looking for an opportunity for but gets caught by a giant rock instead.
Deleted, bro.
Just had his world completely rocked and turned upside down. Fruit Bowl playing off the amplification matrix. Gonna be applying a little bit more pressure forwards. They've gotten a lot of ground. He's gonna be Solar Snack again, trying to hold this right before the point. A lot of ultimates online as Bakura has fallen down, and Fruit Bowl looking like a great opportunity to cap point number 2 uninterrupted, honestly.
And that's all off an amplification matrix, If you were going to tell me what's the least valuable ultimate coming out from this composition, it probably is the Amp Matrix, because teams can generally, just zone it out. The time it only buys you a few seconds, right? Instead, it capped them the entire point, and they get to keep pretty much every other ult in their bank here. On the other hand, Solar Snack, they're going to have 5 to work with.
Ooh, good Flux, able to catch 2 members here, but kind of stuck, goes right into an Immortality field. Wi-Fi looking for an opportunity, has that Blade in his pocket, but everybody's backing off. It might be best to save that one for the next fight. The Transcendence gets forced out. Now that Blade just going to get a lot more effective, and dueling Trance, making it look like a couple of chandeliers, as it's going to be a Flux as well. Wi-Fi falling a little bit down. Blade didn't quite come out in time. Able to find this. The Wi-Fi might be able to swing this one back and tie things around. Now looking for the Sigma. Isn't able to find it, but has to back off, as it was Potentiality with a Blade as well to cut down the rest of Solar Snack.
Still, I think Wi-Fi did enough. Solar Snack should be able to come back in here, potentially force Fruit Bowl off before they can actually regroup and fight on point. Let's see if the remaining members of Fruit Bowl will be able to get back into this, but no, they have to start giving ground. Wi-Fi cut down way too many members.
Yep. Rock Creation just misses a little bit. Totally okay. It's actually a fight by the pool side. Happy summer, everybody. Now Wi-Fi looking to back off, as we do hear Verity pop it, and Pandemon is already down. This railgun putting on a lot of pressure. Several Towels has to watch out because there's a Sojourn looking for him. Now, able to survive out of that one. Fruit Bowl, though, still finding the picks here. Verity just kind of holding it down on the cart, playing that backline pressure, looking around for everybody. Amplification Matrix gets dropped by Danky, but immediately gets pressured by another Baptiste. Doesn't matter. Saga's got the alley-oop. Gonna make sure that one gets shut right down. And just like that, Fruit Bowl are looking to make this with a huge time bank here. Just have to deal with Silver Towels. Yeah, it's gonna be 1 minute and 46 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, that's just beautiful, Marks. They did not slow down after that first point. You know, they got stalled out a little bit, but as soon as they got going, they kept going. All the way to the very end. And yeah, you know, this is Fruitful's map pick, and we can kind of see why. And now this is, if you want to rewind back to my earlier rant, this is where I want Solar Snack to innovate. I want them to try something new. They don't seem to be able to match up that well to Fruitful in the Sigma, in the mirror Sigma comps. So I would like to see them potentially, you know, go back to the Reinhardt rush that they performed so well on Oasis, or even break out a different kind of composition. I think it would be good for them.
Yeah, and honestly, that's something I noticed in the first map as well. Solar Snack were just kind of sticking to the compositions of old, if you will. Playing it a lot more close to how Overwatch 1 compositions were going to be built, and how you want to play those together. So, didn't quite work out for them this time around. Fruitful, I think that they just had a little bit stronger pushing, and I think that potentiality on the Genji made a huge difference for the momentum of the team.
Yeah, now potentiality going back over to the Widowmaker, gonna have a lot of one-pick potential coming out from Fruitful. No more Genji, but Potentiality's Widowmaker had quite a few headshots in the beginning as well that I'm excited to see. Solar Snack coming out with an odd composition, kind of a dive with the Ball and the Genji, but of course you want to keep running this Widowmaker to take those duels. And then it's fine to run the Ana Zen backline because there's, you know, nobody's going to jump on top of you. You get a lot of value out of the sleeps, the nades, and the Discord.
Oh!
Dude, Wi-Fi, he is, like, you just get so unlucky. He goes in, then he's gone.
Hey guys, oh, never mind, I'm not here. I'm in the afterlife. Just looking for an opportunity to play the game. Really kind of getting denied that. Bakura falling extremely low, just trying to get a little bit of cart progress. Honestly, if Solar Snack can get that under the bridge, that would be more than enough room. And how Fruitful are playing this, they're not going to be able to contest that cart too easily.
Yeah, but it looks like, you know, Sigma's toes can do the job. Like Interplug, she's just pushed up just enough to get those little dogs there holding the holding the card back. But it's not going to matter. Solar Snack sent back to spawn.
Yep, they're putting a little bit of pressure here. We do have Wi-Fi moved up again, but yeah, Wi-Fi just gonna hit the reset on that one. Car has not made it too far just quite yet, Spooky.
Yeah, the Genji's getting rolled, and I'm not even sure it's like a problem with Wi-Fi's playstyle at all. You know, he goes in with his ball, but it's just there's so much damage flying around. He just doesn't exist. Pandemon is losing this Widow duel potentiality. It's all coming up Fruitful here. Solar Snack is honestly, they're barely doing anything here, Marks.
Yeah, they're unable to kind of take apart this bunker. Their best chance is probably if Bakura can roll through them and knock them off that high ground. He has not been able to do so just quite yet. Great positioning from themselves. And a couple of picks coming in. Pandemon able to find potentiality, winning that one out. And you can see Solar Snack looking to take this aggression. Regardless, Wi-Fi going to be falling down, but they are taking off the high ground. Bakura not able to escape. And so Fruitful, they're going to get right back up there as soon as they deal with that Zenyatta.
And Verity's been doing so much, really uncontested on the Sojourn, especially with potentiality getting the picks on the Pandemon. You're just free to build up these railguns and let them loose. 1 minute 30 here for Solar Snack. They have the nano boost. I imagine they'll save that for the blade. Wi-Fi almost there, but Wi-Fi dead again. Just the Genji is not getting the value you need. About 3 minutes to build up this blade here. It's going to have to be big, unless Solar Snacks can capitalize on this pick on potentiality.
An Interflux from Fruitful is actually still contesting it, but Solar Snacks have quite a bit of pressure up front, as well as the mines in the backline. Finally, she goes down. But Solar Snacks have to back off. Sorry, no, they're taking the aggression here. Fruitful have to back off. A couple of ultimates online for both of these teams, as this car is round in the corner.
Fruitful can touch. I hope they do. They have everything they need to win this fight. They could potentially end the map here and now, but Wi-Fi finally coming up big, getting that hit on the potentiality, and Pandemon as well. The ults are coming out here. It's a 3v4, 3v3. Now it's even. Fruitful want to take this. The blade is coming out. It's gonna go 1, Can it get another? Just clean up on the point, and yeah, this should be Solar Snack getting away with this one here, Marks.
I don't know about that.
Okay,
Fruitful,
cursed.
They kind of stabilized it. Yep, this is the thing about Overwatch 2. It's not over until it's over. A lot of ultimates being popped there, but ultimately I think it was the Transcendence coming out from Saga that allowed them to stall just long enough to allow some of their faster heroes to get back into the fight. It's going to be one more attack potentially from Solar Snacks, but Potentiality gets hit with the purple already, has to recall out of there, taking things back a little bit, but already under so much pressure. A trance being forced out from Silver Towels, able to keep Solar Snacks nice and healthy. Pulse Bomb now online for Potentiality, looking for a target, spots the Zenyatta, wants to go in, has to wait for that blink, gets the stick off, and is going to be good. Fruitful might be able to turn this one around just yet. Solar Snacks are on the back foot. They have to make this point work, but they're losing members fast with Bakura falling down and an amplification matrix setup. It's all but over. Fruitful are going to win out map number 2 on Circuit Royale.
Just like that, Marks, we are going to 3. We are going to see the push map. I hope it's not Colosseo. We've casted 2 Colosseos already. But yeah, no, Fruitful looked good, dude. They looked very strong on this composition. You know, they pushed all the way through. They full held on A, and they played the same comp pretty much the whole time. Yeah. They looked comfortable on it. They looked practiced. It was very clean.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I would expect from both of these first round winning teams, right? Fruitful and Solar Snacks, both hungry, both food related, looking for more victories here. I mean, this is definitely a swap from what we expected from, especially from that first round of Control, right? Like Solar Snack looked really dominant given their just ability to control the various maps, but that seems to be the curse that's kind of coming over from Overwatch 1, right? Like there are teams that are just good at control and then kind of fumble everywhere else. And I mean, Spooky, do you think that's the case? Is Fruit Bowl that, like, did they just fumble the literal Fruit Bowl here on Control map, or do you think they can hang here?
You know, it's hard to say. We have seen Fruit Bowl stick to their guns on whatever comp they come into the map with. We saw in Lijiang with the Junker Queen composition. We saw it again with the Sigma, and they were running this like Widow Sojourn for a very long time, and they got a bunch of value out of that. And it seems like they do have comps that they have practiced, they've scrimmed with, and they're very reluctant to push away from it. And you know, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. And we've seen both sides of that on the map. So what it comes down to is, what do they have prepared for push? Solar Snack, I think, are a little bit more open to changing things up when things aren't working. So potentially they are going to be able to innovate a little bit more if Fruit Bowl, you know, they stick to their guns and it just doesn't quite work out for them.
I think you're right there. And Mark's Solar Snack, they're trying to bring it back from that Control map here. If you are the coach for Solar Snack, what do you think they need to do? What is your key advice for them going into this push map, which we'll see after a break? But give me your prep for this team here.
Play things close. Don't take those long duels. I think the Widow duel really just started to open things up for Fruit Bowl to just run forwards onto Solar Snacks. Hardly gave anything up. And so if I am Solar Snack, I need to try to play as close as possible, shut down any Widows, shut down any Sojourns, because that is where Fruit Bowl got their maximum value.
I think you're 100% right on that. They shined there. So, it's 1-1. Everybody go grab a snack. There's a couple of snacks in game waiting for us after this quick break, but we'll be right back. So hang tight. There's going to be the concluding round coming up.
Searching for with a break of a day to follow away to you. 'Cause at the end of the day, I ain't looking for no reason to change. 'Cause everything is good for you. Baby, I can see we're gonna shout it out to the sky. Tell our secrets to the night, so we can see the end inside. We're gonna shout it out to the sky when I look into your eyes.
Welcome back, everyone. Hope you managed to get something in you for the last of this, because it is game 3 between these two snack teams, Fruit Bowl and Solar Snack. Bring it in. We're going to New Queen Street. It's going to be a push, quite literal tug of war to decide the winner here. And I know we were kind of joking about it in the beginning that it wasn't going to be Coliseum again. And a Spooky, from 1 to 10, how excited are you that it's not Coliseum?
10, honestly. We were, doing our stint on the C stream before this. We saw Coliseum, then we saw Coliseum, ZZZ dude on board. So I'm super excited to see New Queen Street, and I know Marks, as a Toronto native, actually, is going to give us all the lore, the Canada lore of her New Queen.
I was going to say that seems the perfect time to follow it up with Mark. As the resident local here, apparently. Tell us, where do you think is going to be the most important parts of this map to hold? Because there's a couple important, starting points and moments that you can hold. So where do you think is going to be a good points for each of these teams to make their stand in New Queen Street?
I think that this is going to be a little bit tough to really say. And it really comes down to the compositions that both Fruit Bowl and Solar Snacks want to play. Because obviously on New Queen Street, there are a couple of, higher ground elevation points where we could see a little bit more of that long hit range, hit scan, get a lot of value. But then once things start to turn around the corner and you get closer, just past the first butt scratch point, on both sides, honestly, that's when it's a little bit more of a funnel. And obviously, similar to like Hybrid and Escort maps, that final stretch tends to favor a little bit more of a brawly style. One of the big things that I really like about Push is that it kind of forces you to make switches on the go, just depending on where you are, where the respawns are, and also to what the other team is playing.
I think you're right, but let's not waste any more time. Let's just get into it. The teams are ready. We're ready. It's the last round of the night. New Queen Street. I know it's been a long, long night for everybody here, especially for you guys, and I think there's no better way to close out day 1 of the 2 Beta 2 Brawl here. It's been incredible to watch these teams and these players come alive with all these great strats, great innovations, and great adaptions to what is such a tough patch to come in right before this event, as we were kind of talking about it. So I think between all of us, I think there's a lot of excitement coming down to this final match.
Yeah, absolutely. And now we're going to be loading in. Oh boy, I'm seeing the TTC already and I'm getting scarred. That's okay. Hey, there's City Hall in the background. Well, okay, sorry, I'm going to fangirl out for a little bit. But yeah, this is going to be it. So because this is a best of 3, this is going to be our final map of the night. Whichever team wins is going to be taking a victory. And because of how this tournament is set up, that's one step closer to advancing into the next stage. You need 3 wins in total in order to fully advance. And this is going to be one of these teams' second.
Yeah, absolutely, Marks. And just looking at the rosters, I believe we do have Zim82 coming in on tank for Fruit Bowl. Flux is out, so Zim's probably maybe their Reinhardt specialist. But most important to me is Deflects is back in for Solar Snack on that Sojourn. They did not play a lot of Sojourn on Circuit Royale, and that might be because their specialist here in Deflects was out. And I think that let Verity really kind of take over the game. So I'm very excited to see Sojourns on both sides again. Really mirror comps coming out. So it's really, who is better? And no comp differences coming out here.
No, it's just going to be a straight up match. Already, Zim weakened up, able to stay alive amidst all the chaos, looking for a little bit more as Potentiality and Verity are actually doing the heavy lifting. And I think it's going to be all but over Fruit Bowl. I think they've got more than enough value to make this one move forwards with Spooky. I'm seeing 2 Moiras coming in as well.
Yeah, and this is where I want to watch and kind of see how useful is this nullifying orb actually. It's on like an 18-second cooldown, so you do have to be pretty intentional about where you want to use it. But I think right there, where Saga dropped it on top of Bakura as they moved in, and pretty much you're isolating the Reinhardt without even a Mei wall, because he can't do anything if his damage is reduced by 75%, right?
Yep, absolutely. And it's a little bit of a messy engagement to start, but Solar Snack are able to make that one work. Reinhardt getting so deep in, but Wi-Fi into Flex. There's the tail of Wi-Fi again on the Genji. Really putting in work, really holding Fruit Bowl honest. Solar Snack able to turn this one around. Not a lot of progress made just yet for Fruit Bowl, so Solar Snack should be able to tie this one up.
And already Wi-Fi feeling much more in their element here on the Genji. 81% to that blade. Trying to prove that Circuit Royale, just a bad game, and he is ready to come back in and win it here. Verity trying to push forward here, get that railgun going, and yeah, it's going to be the Sojourn duel here on the side.
Oh. And that's such focus coming in from Verity. And Potentiality doing the exact same thing. It's going to be an Earth Shatter, though. Bakura trying to tie this one up. Dropped quite a few members, but there just wasn't enough follow-up with the members who had already died. So they're able to push Fruit Bowl back, but they're not able to find enough of the peaks. It's going to be actually, okay, a Coalescence way into the backline from Mahir, trying to just zone them out. And Fruit Bowl not expecting that one, but now they've got a lot of ultimates to use in this next fight.
Yeah, and this is, you know, to me, this is what the developers envisioned when they designed Push. It's a super back and forth tug of war. The bot hasn't moved too far yet. Just each team having like 4 fights already. It just goes back and forth, and they're pretty much even so far on how much this bot has moved. But eventually, it's something to be like, give here, Marcus.
Oh, and an ultimate might just do that. Jonathan already down low, looking for the Sojourn, trying to do the 1v1. You always got to respect the 1v1 unless it's a Reinhardt in front of you. You're just taking down instead. And Fruit Bowl gonna have a nice, easy, fast cleanup. It's looking like Solar Snacks sent all the way back to spawn. This tug of war, best way to describe it. Look at this. It's so close between these two teams right now.
Yeah, only really 3 meters separating them. And now 2 ults online, both DPS, the Blade versus the Overclock, Deflex versus Potentiality, the fight of the century. Marks, who do you got?
Ding, ding, ding. Turns out we're in WWE now. Still, these teams are going to be going. Overdrive is going to be on a line, looking for a little bit of value. Potentiality pulls out the Blade, can't find anything. Actually gets taken out by Deflex's ultimate. And that's going to be a nice railgun shot as Solar Snacks move into punish. But that's honestly okay because Fruit Bowl, they're able to at least get the butt scratch activated. And as we all learned over the weekend, once that butt scratch is activated once, you don't have to activate it again.
Yeah, I didn't really think about the anti-butt scratch, where it's like, you know, you push up to the point, and then you have to wait and wait and wait before the bottom locks again. But if they just push up to the point and leave, it's actually the other team, Solar Stacks, who have to wait like 15 seconds before they can start moving it in their direction.
The anti-butt scratch. Nobody ever sees that one coming. Fruit Bowl now just going to continue to press their advantage. They've already taken down the tank, taken out the Moira as well, and are looking to just move it forwards. Now, scratch, so they're able to just keep on pushing that thing forwards.
Yeah, it bought them so much time, honestly. Like, the bot barely moved before they were able to regroup, win the fight, and start pushing again.
Yup, and now these teams are queuing up. No swaps have come out from either side. They're confident in taking these duels. It is going back and forth. Almost Shatter gets blocked out completely, though. It's met with a sound barrier from Jonathan as the Coalescence comes out from here. It's a lot of healing being dumped into Solar Snacks. They really want to win this fight. And with Wi-Fi pulling out the Dragon Blade, that's exactly what they're going to do. So finally, they're able to turn this one around. But it's almost about a 50-meter difference. Solar Snacks, they got to start pulling this together. They got to start winning more team fights.
Yeah, and they dumped their ults into that one, Marcus. They used 4 ultimates to try and get that one. It's really only going to be Deflect who is going to give them a chance in this next fight with both the Shatter and the Coalescence.
It's already not looking too good. The Coalescence is just so powerful. Verity finding 2. And Fruit Bowl is just going to charge right into a wall, get a little bit more ground. And Fruit Bowl, go right back into it.
Yeah, you know, they definitely look like they're comfortable on the competition. Zim is looking very good on the Reinhardt. And pretty cold because the last 2 games. But, you know, the Shatter, very good.
Here we go, we're going in again. Oh, it's gonna be a Shatter coming in there. Not sure if it got too much value, but it's immediately countered with that sound barrier. Now Zim is just gonna get in deep, but it's a Dragon Blade. Potentiality, putting the potential energy into death. And just like that, gonna be Solar Snack completely dead, and Fruit Bowl are gonna continue to move this forward. Spooky, we're getting closer and closer to a potential push map finish.
And what a statement that would be here, Marks. To be that one of those very few 2-0 teams here in the 2-beta-2 Brawl. Fruit Bowl wanted, and they're pushing forward. Maybe pushing a little too far forward there, Verity. Trying to get that feather in their cap, but still, Vega gets a pick, but it's not going to be quite enough. Solar Snack, well, you've got the bot back, but you've got a good, 80 meters to go after you get to your barrier.
Oh, but he's rolling.
Yeah, he's cruising. He's in downtown Toronto. Probably got his headphones in.
Yeah, you gotta watch out. A lot of traffic downtown Toronto. Can confirm that one. And it looks like they're about to hit a jam. As Solar Snack have now all respawned and they're moving things forward. Wi-Fi is back on the rat, and Saga took the brunt of that. Now it's just gonna be easy cleanup for Fruit Bowl. They're actually just going to be able to go through and just completely mow over the rest of them. I love how Fruit Bowl have been playing this. They're taking no prisoners, just looking for it, getting up into their face, and winning the fights. The Flex still alive. Wait a second. Okay, Solar Snack able to really just hold on to the point. The Reinhardt is back into the mix, but still has 2 healers, so Fruit Bowl ultimately winning out that team fight. But that one was down to the wire, Spooky.
Yeah, but I mean, Sega died so early and Fruit Bowl still turned it. That makes no sense to me. They come up with something despite having literally no healing. And Solar Snack, still just losing time on this clock. They're not even close to getting progress again. They need to win this fight before they can start even pushing past, the 30% mark.
Ooh, Potentiality gets taken out. It's a back flanking shatter though. Mahir able to just never mind. Gets taken out by Danky, and this is looking like a good fight for the Fruit Bowl. They're ready to compare apples to oranges. And this time they're going to be winning. And once again, this robot, he's going to be marching his way. He's going to be cruising right towards it. As Solar Snack, only 2 minutes left. It's not looking too hot for them.
Yeah, Mahir back on the Moira, having swapped over to the BAP for a little bit, deciding it's not working. Seems a little panicky to me as Solar Snack is trying to find some kind of composition that works for
Shatter?
them. The Shatter might just push them over the edge. You've got the beat as well. But still Mark's Potentiality finds a pick.
Yeah, and that's absolutely nuts. Deflex has to check this guy, otherwise Potentiality going to continue to run rampant. Thankfully, everybody's just going to be running rampant right into the hammer of Bakura. So, Solar Snack, able to turn this one around again. The bot is going to march back, but this has just been back and forth between these 2 points. Fruit Bowl feel like they're playing more defensively now.
And they should. Quite honestly, they don't have to win another fight until overtime. It doesn't really matter. It's going to be very hard for Solar Snacks to actually push forward and even meet what Fruit Bowl have already accomplished. And Solar Snacks looks like they're even playing a little scared here, like not really engaging as quickly as they should be. As soon as I say that though, Deflect tries to prove me wrong, get into the map, and finally gets a pick with the overclock. Potentiality again evens it up.
Yeah, and that's the thing, they can't really capitalize on these picks. Finally able to come up with a little more, thanks to a Junkrat trap and Deflex having that railgun. Well, they're able to finally win this one out and get that closer, but it's still, they gotta climb Mount Olympus at this point if they're planning on winning this one out.
They're facing down 80 meters, they're facing down like 4 fights they have to win in
and a
row.
butt scratch.
They're facing down the butt scratch. It is a mountain. It's a Herculean effort that is needed here from Solar Snack. But maybe, I believe in the Wi-Fi Junkrat. I believe in the Riptire. This is where it comes together. Solar Snack 2-1.
Let's see if this Riptire can cut the head off of the Hydra. That is Solar Snack. It's coming in from the back. I don't think anybody expects it, but the team is already dead. Okay, this is looking really good for Solar Snack. They just have to deal with the couple. The Riptire not actually being the difference maker there. We've hit butt scratch territory, but we've also hit overtime, Spooky.
Yeah, at least I think they did get the points before Wi-Fi spawns, so Wi-Fi should be able to get back a little bit quicker. But I'm looking at these ultimates. There's a Blade, there's a Shatter. You have to play perfectly from here on out, Marks. 2 fights. 2 fights is what Solar Snacks needs.
Zim looking for it, just wants to rock right past this Reinhardt to drop the Shatter down, and it's absolutely massive. You can just go in front of it as well.
And
there's nobody even off the point. Just like that, Fruit Bowl gonna be counting their fruit, grabbing them all, and placing them nicely into a bowl as they win it out 2-1 against Solar Snack.
And I mean, what can you say at the end there? Fruit Bowl definitely deserved that win. They had pushed so far. But Solar Snack, the signs of life at the end, that they had me believing for a second. I thought they could do it. I thought they could make it over the hump. And they did. They were close. There's obviously so much potential on both of these teams here.
You're right. There's a lot of potential. Both these teams had a win coming into this, but now Fruit Bowl coming up 2-1. They will see themselves 2/3 of the way through this triple Swiss format to completing that. And Solar Snack, well, they got to keep playing to win, and we'll probably get to see them, I think, on the next day. So it's been a wild amount of games, and I think from all the things we've seen, Marks, hit us with one thing. Give us a takeaway, something you didn't expect to see, something that impressed you the most from, because you've seen all these games today. Give us something, your biggest takeaway from the day.
Overclock scary. I think that's kind of what I'm walking away with. But at the same time, Rein still very viable. Guess what? Everyone was saying that Rein, well, we probably won't see him unless it's very specific compositions. But honestly, with how some of these teams have played Reinhardt tonight, I'm genuinely impressed. That's the thing too, because there's less shields in the game now. The Shatter just gets you a lot more value. So I'm here for it. Let's see more Rein, baby.
I think that's a great. I think everybody who's a tank player is excited to see more Rein. Spooky, on the other side here, give us the coldest, most obvious thing that you've learned today, that something that you thought coming into this would stick and prove true.
Honestly, it's pretty much the same thing that Mark said. Sojourn. Don't take her out of your comps. Never. Do whatever else you want, you know. Throw in any tanks, play Brig, Lucio, play whatever. But keep Sojourn in.
Arissa.
You saw so many fantastic performances coming out of Sojourn players. She's still busted. The railgun is still so strong. She is just taking over games. And I think pretty much this entire match proved that.
I agree completely. Like, that is, I couldn't have said it better myself, and I don't have a cold or a hot take here other than just Junkrat still can put in some work, even if you
still got it, dude. Overwatch 2, he still got it.
You know, might have been one of the lowest played heroes in beta so far, but still can be a nightmare for a lot of these teams. And at least for today, the nightmare of the Junkrat in your games is over, as this is the last game for today. Thank you all for hanging out with us, for catching us across all three of these streams, from MFG, Joker, Billy, Septillions, all the other casters today, all of us here at Bad Pachimari League, and all of us from behind the scenes. Thank you all for hanging back. Make sure you come back for day 2, starting nice and early in the afternoon. You'll get the chance to sleep in, play some Overwatch 2, and then come back and compare notes to what's happening here. But come back, because there's going to be more, and we're all excited to see you. Take care. Have a great night, everybody.
back to get back to the show, and we'll fly. You don't have to feel like you're on your own. No one should have to dance alone.